Welcome back to...
Oh, man, no shit.
I'm sorry. That was an accident. I was like actually looking... I was looking down. I didn't know you were going to start the episode.
Completely thrown off now. Welcome back to Comments... I fucked it up now. I don't know what to say. Welcome back to Shooting Blanks Entertainment presents the Commentators Podcast. I'm Kramer.
I'm Juan.
And I'm Ryan. I'm back.
Woo!
He is finally back. He was gone for 2 episodes, but really he was just gone one day, and we decided to film as many episodes as we could without him.
And I started making weird assumptions because I didn't know y'all did.
He did. He messaged me saying, "Guy, like, what's?" So I heard there's a new guy on the podcast.
No, that's not what I said.
That's what you said?
I noticed y'all did 2 episodes. I thought I only missed one.
He was like sincerely like guys.
Don't forget, please. I'm supposed to be part of it.
It wasn't on the group chat. He messaged it to me directly. He's just like, "Kramer, what's going on? Are you seeing other hosts?"
That's funny.
But we're very glad to have you back.
It has been like 2 months though,
Yeah, for real.
because we've been
yeah.
a little sparse with the.
Yeah, but we're getting back on it.
Yeah.
And we're starting off. I'm very glad you're back for this episode.
Yeah.
For Batman versus Superman.
Dawn of Justice.
I'm glad you remembered the subtitle because I forgot it for a
I
second.
could tell.
The super long title.
Oh.
There was a lot of anticipation for this movie,
Yep.
particularly amongst us.
Yeah.
Not so much with our girlfriends, I noticed. Whenever we went, we were like, yeah, Batman versus Superman. And half of them were like, eh.
Yeah, I pretty much dragged Daisy.
Sarah's into this stuff, so she enjoyed it.
Maggie's into more the Marvel movies. She really likes the Marvel movies. But this one, she's like, eh.
She went nuts for that Spider-Man and Cap and everything.
Yeah, she was really waiting for Civil War.
Speaking
It looks
of,
good.
we haven't talked about the newest trailer with Spider-Man.
Yeah,
Oh,
I mean,
And
yeah.
all, everything else that was new.
Yeah.
movie's looking real good.
I liked it a lot. I liked the whole, how this time it was against Cap, where the first one was against Iron Man.
Yeah.
Like you
Definitely.
really
Yeah, you're right.
saw that like theme of like Iron Man's the bad guy in the first one, and now you're like, no, maybe Cap's doing the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Oh man,
I wanted to tell you of that picture that I saw where it was Spider-Man says, "Hi, hey everyone," and then except without the stuttering, and then,
Hey, everyone.
and then
I'm a
Captain
big fan,
America
guys.
goes,
I'm sorry.
"How did they get Spider-Man?" And then it shows a picture of like Iron Man holding Spider-Man on the roof. He's like, "It's okay, we have money." And Spider-Man is like, "Oh, thank God." I was like, "Oh, that explains everything."
Underoos.
Underoos.
A lot of people on YouTube didn't quite catch that.
What?
They were like, on the ruse? What is
Oh,
on the what? What does that mean?
I gotta say though, when I first saw him, I was unimpressed. But after like going to see the high res images, I was like, okay, this looks cool.
I was way too distracted with his mask to really notice.
As soon as the eyes
the suit
moved,
look-
I was just like,
It wasn't
what
the eyes.
fuck?
It was just that it's an Alex Ross, like 70s Spider-Man mask look.
Yeah.
And even like it's got the small spider symbol on the chest.
On the
It's got
chest,
the fat one on the back.
The fat one on the back. He's got the utility.
web cartridge.
The web cartridge is on his belt.
Yeah, it's brighter red.
It's cool.
Yeah, it looks real good.
So this one, they're going more with like the webs being the mechanical thing as opposed to it's coming out of his hands, like from the Toby.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still like the Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah. I like that because like when I first saw that with the Tobey Maguire one, where it was coming out of his hands, I was like, I don't remember that.
It was like this white sack on his arm.
Yeah, it was just, ugh.
Oh yeah, you're right. It
was all like-
like dried sperm.
Yeah, I would imagine like he just shakes somebody's hands and it like leaks off, and they're like, "Did you just whack off?"
Okay.
It was such a good like appearance though.
Yeah.
Yeah, his voice threw me off a little bit because like I understand he's the youngest one, but like when you don't see like the
character, like the person?
the face or anything like that, you just see somebody in a costume. You're like, and everyone has these deep voices, and you go, "Hey everyone."
Yeah, it was really. It was to me. It seemed like almost like if that wasn't his real line.
Yeah,
Yeah, maybe that's just me.
it just seems a little out of place.
Yeah, because he's
Well,
like,
it was definitely
Hey, everyone.
that last section was an audience. It was for the audiences.
oh yeah,
Tony says, "I've run out of patience." Right. That's what we all feel.
Yeah.
And then Spider-Man says, "Hi to everybody."
Yeah,
Not to them, but to us. You know?
that's an interesting way of putting it.
I'm hoping. Well, I don't know. Never mind. I lost that train of thought.
Did you see the videos where they started replacing what he said with like other lines?
No.
There's like one where he comes out and he lands, instead of "Hey everyone," it says Surprise, motherfucker.
No, that's good. I like
There
that.
was like a whole bunch of those, and I was laughing my ass off for every one of them. It was so good.
Some guy made like use some kind of animation software and made him dance. Like after he lands,
Yeah.
he like throws up the shield and he
saw
starts
that.
doing the Michael Jackson dance.
Yes, that's
Oh,
good.
nice.
That was really good.
I haven't seen that.
It looks super good.
I want to see one where it's the scene just like normal, but with the Guile theme song. No.
Damn it.
Dun, 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 dun. Oh, we never talked about the X-Men Apocalypse trailer that came out last week with the.
Do you want to do the
Civil
trailers
War.
now or afterwards?
Let's do them before we get. Then we'll do like the big.
Okay, so I mean,
Talk.
Captain America looks cool.
Yeah, it's cool. And before we go on that, Ant-Man flying on Hawkeye's.
That's
On his,
adaptation
yeah.
that everyone's been asking for.
Yes, that was super cool.
And the fact that he like flew through Iron Man trying to grab him.
Yes,
Was
he
even
jumps
better.
through his fingers and he's all in his arm already.
Yeah, he's gonna deck him in the face.
Which I heard that Pop Figures ruined a big
Something.
surprise.
Spoiler alert. by the
Huge
way,
spoiler alert.
If you don't want to know anything,
Which means
Should I not
Kramer's
listen?
special.
Kramer's panicking because he doesn't know.
I don't know what's going to happen.
His eyes are dark.
Can I
between
close my
both of us.
ears? I have to edit this later. I'm going to hear it anyway.
Okay, it's been spoiled through the toy merchandise and stuff like that.
And Lego figures too.
Lego and
Pop.
and Marvel Legends, like normal action figures as well.
Oh really?
There's a Build-A-Figure one for you collect the different pieces. Of
Oh okay, yeah.
So we don't have to say it, I guess. I mean, it is. That's not something you want to spoil.
Either ruin my life or don't.
No, it's gonna, if it happens, it's gonna be a very special moment.
Yeah,
in
because
the
some
movie.
people are saying that it's
It could
like,
be. It could
they-
just be toy thing.
yeah. Toys have
you know?
done similar things where like Age of Ultron had toys or scenarios that weren't in the movie.
But it's totally within the realm of possibility.
idea what
Yes.
the
I like
fuck
how
is
we're
going
talking
on
about
right
something
now.
that nobody.
Just what?
Do you wanna know?
Let's not.
And you know what?
Okay,
It's
no.
something that's been rumored since yeah.
Yeah.
I hate both of you so much right now.
Oh man.
Would you be excited to see that though, right?
Oh yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
Guys, you stop this. It's a whole podcast of like inside information.
Okay,
like,
Kramer, you're gonna find out. And anybody who doesn't want to know,
you
skip
should
5 seconds ahead or 10 seconds, whatever. Click
At least
next.
learn it from us, your friends, instead
Giant.
of the internet.
Giant Man.
Yeah.
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 He's not that excited. You're faking.
We built it up too
We
much.
built it up too much. He's like,
It was kind of very overbuilt. I was just kind of like, okay.
yeah, oh.
Nobody
Oh,
can
okay.
skip 5 seconds on the thing, can they? It's only like 30 seconds. That's your only option. At least it is
Yeah,
for me.
you're kind of fucking with everybody listening to the podcast.
Spoiler alert.
But Giant Man, that could be pretty cool.
He said it again, dude.
I don't care anymore. It's already been spoiled.
All right, well, we're gonna.
Deleting all of this.
Well,
We're starting over, guys.
it's not a real spoiler until.
Welcome to the
We know.
commentators.
All right, yeah, redo everything. Scratch it off.
So Spider-Man.
Spider-Man was Q, eh?
X-Men?
I'm glad they didn't do the web pits.
Web hits?
Pits.
Oh, okay.
Armpit webs.
I actually am not
What?
a fan of the web
I don't
hits.
know if that'll work. Like,
What are you talking about?
Spider-Man classically has had webbing under his arms,
Like a little
from
ring.
his forearm to his
Oh, okay.
under
Like in
his
the costume.
chest. Yeah, on the costume.
Oh, I thought you meant like he also makes webs from his armpits.
Oh,
He doesn't have
like,
hair anymore. They're just webs.
He just sweats,
he has to,
like webs.
pull it off every now and
No
then.
more pubes. They're just webs.
He plays basketball, but he gets stuck on the court because it's sweating all over the place.
It's all webs.
Yeah, so it would be interesting to see if they do put that in there somehow. Like maybe he glides or something. I'd imagine that they're gonna do some departure stuff for Spider-Man. Now that we've seen him in 2 iterations,
Oh, yeah. They got to do something different with him.
so yeah, I mean, we
Even-
might get some surprises. That
Did
we
you
haven't-
see the high-res photo of his logo on the front? Like it looks like two, not a square. It doesn't look like a spider. It looks like a high-tech.
Well, it's definitely.
like,
I think
updated
I
logo.
think that's the suit Tony helps him make in the movie.
Yeah, that's what I'm going with too.
It's gonna be a spin on his suit. You know that he actually.
Maybe his original logo is the big logo, and this is like the front logo is like the Iron Man helped logo.
Yeah.
Because it looks all like future. It looks like
And
a
we can-
like a little square with little arms.
Yeah, and we can see his eyes. it's a zooming effect, not like an emoting effect like Deadpool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you see lens.
You can see, you can see the little grooves.
Yeah.
And when his eyes go down, you can hear like a or like a like a camera.
A little slight. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did not watch the trailer this much. I think I saw it like on my phone.
Well, I listen with headphones, so I hear everything.
Okay.
I watched
always-
it a million times.
I always do trailers, movies with headphones. It's always better.
That's true. Yeah.
I got like really not into watching trailers now, but it was particularly after Batman versus Superman trailer, which we
Yeah.
could talk about later.
Oh man, we have definitely.
Okay. Do you guys want to keep covering more trailers before we get to BVS?
I did want to talk about X-Men because I really like that trailer.
X-Men's looking good.
Did you watch the trailer?
For X-Men?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
The new
I,
one.
yeah, we were talking about it.
Are we?
Were we?
Yeah. But
Well,
the
let's-
graphics.
Let's talk about it. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's looking very. Stylistically, it looks very different from what Bryan Singer's done with X-Men.
I did not like some of the way the special effects looked. It looks like they're not done.
You're talking
They're
about a lot of
probably
the
not
destruction stuff and
Yeah, or
the
like
swirling colors
The one that
and-
got me was
Psylocke. Olivia Munn's
Olivia
character.
Munn's character. Yeah, she slices through a car and she's doing a flip, but the flip looked like it was like not a flip. It was like a weird hovering kind of like she was still trying to balance as they were like making her flip.
I was gonna bring that up to you when you brought that up because the first trailer that she does that because they've showed that twice now. The first trailer, it looks like she's on wires because it's slowed down.
Yeah,
And as you see it, she's not really doing a flip. You can tell at some point she's just being supported.
Yeah.
This trailer, they sped that up and it looked better.
the same scene.
The same scene. There's changes. They sped that scene up.
Did they release the same trailer? Or?
They released a different trailer, but that same scene was in there. But if you watch the original one they released, and
Okay,
then
I may
this
have
one,
still seen.
he's talking about the Super Bowl trailer. This first time we saw it was
the first
Super
time
Bowl trailer.
was like
Okay.
her flip looked really like wonky. It didn't look right.
Okay,
And
maybe
this
I just saw the Super Bowl one then because
maybe did you see? Also, they changed Apocalypse's voice.
Yes, and they
I
whited
noticed
out his
that
eyes
instantly. Yeah,
and he's bluer now instead of purple.
his voice is.
And-
I liked his voice before. I thought it was very like powerful.
It was
when he
very
yelled.
human.
Yeah, and now it sounds a little more like grr. Like it's got.
Well, it's got like a modulation.
Yeah,
I
they
don't
added
know.
that.
I
to
like
that.
it both ways. It still sounds like Oscar Isaac. So
I think I just enjoyed the first one a little more, but this one I get what they're still doing, and I know
Oscar Isaac
things
is doing
change.
A bunch of shit lately.
Yeah,
yeah, he's great.
Yeah, he was in the one with the robot.
Ex Machina.
Yeah, he was really good in that.
I didn't watch that. I need to watch that.
I need to watch it as well.
It was a really good movie, and he did a great job in that one. Then he did Star Wars. Now he's in fucking X-Men.
Yeah,
He's on a fucking roll.
I'm sure he's doing more right now. We don't even know.
I'm excited.
We don't even know, man.
Probably just filming a whole bunch of cool
I've been listening
stuff.
to like a bunch of podcasts, and like they make up movies, and every one of them has like Oscar Isaac in it.
It's because he's great.
Yes, he's so good.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, like I don't know, maybe I was just watching the Super Bowl one.
I'm
And
thinking
The
maybe
Super
you
Bowl
watched
thing
the
was
old
a
one.
30-second, like
No, this wasn't 30 seconds.
No.
Yeah, no.
The original, the one before this was a full length 2-minute trailer too.
well, Sonic wasn't in that.
Yeah, she was. Yes, she was. I'm thinking you missed the trailer somewhere.
There's only 2 trailers, and then a Super Bowl ad.
That's what I'm telling you. 2 trailers and a Super Bowl ad.
The
You
one
said-
where she does that flip, the one that I
It's-
saw, looked very, very like bad.
Okay, did you see the
Well,
future?
let's stop talking about the flip. the
That's the one that stuck out to me. I've only seen that trailer once.
okay.
But there was like a lot of like special effects that seemed very like that, where it wasn't done yet. And in my head, I'm like, part of me just wants to say, stop releasing trailer footage with special effects that's halfway done, because it's like the trailers are supposed to hype. And if you put out something where you can easily tell, like the movie magic is taken out of it, then you're kind of like, eh. I mean, it's exciting to see the characters, especially if you're into something with a source material, and you get excited seeing the characters and their powers. But for somebody who's like, if somebody hasn't seen any of this before, and especially like, because me with X-Men, I like X-Men, but I'm not too deep into it.
Yeah.
So like, I've never seen that character before, and the introduction that I got to her was,
It looked like a fall almost, like real, like
yeah,
Weird.
like
Okay, so here's the thing. I've noticed that anything we see in trailers for these type of movies is a finished product. People like to say, I've never really noticed a change in VFX
Jurassic Park.
for Jurassic
World.
World?
Jurassic World.
I didn't see the first trailer. I don't know.
They changed a lot of stuff from the trailer.
Did they? Well, I just don't have a lot of
Yeah.
experience seeing differences between the final product and what was
and
in
that
the trailer.
scares me because I don't want to watch the movie where it's kind of like with the original X-Men trilogy, where like I really liked the first one. The second one I thought was good. And then the third one was kind of just like things just kind of like fell apart. Mm-hmm. I'm scared that that's going to happen with like because I haven't started watching the new X-Men ones either, which I need to before I watch the
Yeah.
Anything Bryan Singer touches with X-Men is gold. Because he did 1, 2. He
didn't
skipped
do
3.
three.
He didn't do 3.
He did
That's what I
Superman
heard.
Returns
Yeah,
instead.
he actually like backed away from that because it didn't have a good script. It wasn't being made up to be a good movie.
Yeah.
He produced and helped make First Class.
First Class was amazing.
It was surprised because it went through a lot of problems too, but
Yeah.
they came out on top. And then he did Days of Future Past. I think is the best one.
Oh yeah,
So far.
I love that one.
So I have more than enough faith that this one will be good.
I hope so. Because like the last thing I want is to like get like really excited for another like superhero movie.
And it's almost like the final chapter. I don't really.
It seems like a
It
final. I don't see
seems
how
like
they
a
would
final
go
chapter
more.
for the X-Men. I don't like. They're gonna do other things.
Well, because Apocalypse seems to be like a good way to cap off a trilogy.
yeah, yeah.
Or any kind of like mini thing that they're going for.
Especially too, since you haven't seen Days of Future Past, so never mind.
What?
Right?
I told you I'm behind.
Watch. Okay, yeah, watch it.
But other stuff in the trailer. I love how epic it looks when they introduce Storm when she comes from the lightning bolt.
Yeah, it's looking so iconic now compared
Yes.
to how it was looking before.
That's like
his films
that
have been
scene looks so good.
way more grounded than this one looks. It looks like flashier
Mm-hmm.
and stealing panels from the comics. Kind of
Yeah.
like the Marvel and DC movies are doing.
Yeah, the new scene that was in there that I thought was cool was Apocalypse in the like Egyptian board, and it looks like he's getting his like maybe alien hardware.
I need to watch that trailer. I've only seen it once or twice.
Oh man, I watched it a lot. It was really cool. Did you remember that part, Kramer? Do you watch the same one?
I think I might have.
Where he's like laying on a board and starts like rising.
And he still looks like Oscar Isaac.
Yeah, he still looks
Apocalypse
human.
yet. He
I don't
looks
think
human.
I've seen that one.
Oh,
Or maybe like I said, I only saw the trailer once.
Yeah.
So like a couple of things stuck out to me. Like it was the flip one that stuck out to me the most. But I don't really remember much of the other trailer.
And there's that.
When did that come out?
It
been a
came
while
out
now, right?
Civil War, the same week Civil War trailer came out.
How long ago was that?
2 weeks ago, maybe,
About 2 weeks.
Oh shit! It feels like it's been a month.
We have a
maybe
yeah.
2 weeks. I don't know, somewhere around there.
Yeah,
There's a lot of shit like
It looks
just
really
being
cool.
bombarded with.
there's some stuff that I remember.
Yeah, they were trying to
thinking-
steal some hype from Batman, right? Like a week or two before Batman Superman coming out.
Yeah.
All right, let's throw Spider-Man. Another X-Men trailer.
You- Smart move though. They're like,
Yeah, because they don't want too much people to go like, oh look, DC's over here.
Yeah.
And Marvel's like, no, we're still here, guys.
don't forget about us. Look, Spider-Man. You guys wanted him.
Yeah,
Everyone's excited.
yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm still super excited for that.
I don't think most of the, like, I guess they might have been scared that with Marvel, everyone was going to be like, oh, now there's DC. I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't think so.
Yeah, hopefully people are.
I don't think people are going to pick and choose. I think people are
Yeah,
just going to see all of them.
Hopefully they don't create a disparity between them and they can just go see them all.
Like people are just going to see. Well, also too because it took so long for this movie to come out. I hope the next ones don't also take as long.
BBS.
Yeah, that was
It took
3 years. 3 years.
Man of Steel
Fuck,
came
has
out
it
in
been 3 years?
2013.
Yeah.
Shit.
But I mean they're moving quick now. Justice League
Yeah.
Part 1's next year.
Yeah. Well, but I've noticed that like it's not real. It doesn't take away from anybody because the only people who will not watch one because of the other are the really diehard fans.
Yeah.
Like two of our friends that we know, Adam, huge Marvel fan, hates DC. Probably didn't go see Batman versus Superman. Josh, huge DC fan, doesn't watch anything Marvel, hates Marvel.
See, that's a weird thing.
Yeah,
man.
just enjoy
Yeah, I
all
never
of
really
them.
understood that. I was like,
Yeah.
it's not a rivalry. It's not sports. You know, you don't have to pick a favorite team.
Maybe people are making it
I mean,
into
both
sports.
studios, not studios, but both sides make good and bad movies. But I still watch them all. I'm sorry, I still haven't seen Fantastic Four. But
Me neither.
I will watch it. I know
haven't
that
seen
my
it.
brother
No.
told me, he's like, just watch it. I mean, it's.
I just haven't
still-
bothered.
Me
I know,
neither.
me neither. But
It's
Whatever. Honestly, if with the way that the people are talking about the Batman versus Superman one, if we weren't so hyped to see it before, and I heard all those reviews, I probably would have been like, I might not go see this.
I don't let reviews really.
But you still haven't seen Fantastic Four.
I don't like Fantastic Four that much.
That's a good.
I don't
point.
really have
I think that was
there
a big major thing is that no
And-
one cared about it.
I mean,
Yeah.
I was interested from the first trailer for that movie, where it was very space exploration. Different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't. It wasn't
It had
advertised as a superhero film.
It had that same Interstellar
Yeah.
trailer vibe.
and I was like, "That's cool. That's very Fantastic Four."
Matthew McConaughey was like, space. I used to go to space before people paid me to.
I was gonna make that joke. Fuck.
Oh man. But and then
Yeah,
the
that-
second trailer was cool. It
Yeah.
was showing more action and stuff like that. And then we started finding out that things were going horribly wrong on the other
yeah.
side of the camera, and that was debilitating. I think that's the
Yeah.
word.
And then, those reviews came out and just no one liked it. And normally I don't go for reviews either because
But
I think a lot of critics are probably like real pretentious people.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, just shut up and enjoy the movie.
Plenty
But
of them-
I get that some of them are just like, no, for real, it sucked.
Yeah. I mean, plenty of them aren't shy to admit that.
Like a movie
to admit
sucks?
to admit their bias
Oh, yeah.
about what they like and don't like, and why. Because that was happening with BVS. That also happened with.
That's why I
Fantastic
wasn't trying to
Four.
read any BVS
Yeah.
reviews that came out that started coming out on Tuesday. I was like, I'm staying off Facebook and I'm staying off like the internet for those because they were like, reviews just in. We didn't like it. I'm like, nope, turn it off. I was like, I don't trust y'all guys.
Yeah, that happened when I was walking into the theater because I was like, I'm so excited for this. And Maggie asked me, have you seen the reviews for it yet? I was like, no, I didn't know there were any reviews for it yet. Because I figured, this is the night before opening day. How many people have seen it?
The press people.
Only press, only
Yeah.
critics, only people who
Yeah.
got to. There were plenty of people who got to see it on Monday.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you went to a special IMAX standing a year ago, you got a pass to see it early. But that's very, 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 very small percentage.
Yeah, but even those, like most of the time, they don't give as bad of reviews as they gave for this one. Like they just shat all over it.
I mean, it was another divisive movie that Zack Snyder and Warner Brothers made. They weren't really making it to please critics or to like.
Yeah.
It's a weird movie. I mean, it's a movie made by a fan, created for fans
Yeah.
of these comic book things, and
I was gonna ask, should we open with opening statements for BVS? Is that your opening statement?
We're already in it. Let's
no.
First thoughts, I guess.
I quite enjoyed it. I the only things that were really I didn't really let reviews into my mind, but the only thing scratching the back of my head was I knew about the director's cut.
Oh, yeah.
But we know about that beforehand.
An R-rated director's cut.
Whoa.
It's barely R. That's
Barely.
not the. That's
I don't
not,
see how it
that
could
was-
be even more. Like,
that was
He just says the F word twice.
no. He
Batman
said,
says shit twice. Or?
he said that there's just a little bit of violence that pushes it to R. Right. But the biggest point of conversation for me is that it's a half hour longer.
Oh.
And I don't usually say this, but this movie needed to be longer,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
I definitely
Yes.
agree.
it
I would
needed
agree.
the first hour needed to breathe a bit.
Yeah.
I want to say it didn't need to be longer. I think it should have been 2 movies.
I remember when that was a rumor. Do you remember that rumor?
I do.
That
I
Batman
remember that it was
Superman
going to be
would be
part
two
1
parts?
and
It
2.
needed to be 2 parts
And then
because
it-
it
I'm
was
not
just
sure
way
about
too
that.
much. It was the reason I say that is because they spent a whole movie could have been Batman and Superman, and then the
Justice League.
the
people?
Justice League coming out, and then finally figuring out about everybody else, and then there was Doomsday. Doomsday there was just no build up for it.
Also, fuck everyone who said that wasn't going to be Doomsday at the end because it totally was just Doomsday and nothing else.
That we were talking about the trailers, trailers that reveal everything.
Yeah.
Remember, we had a podcast a while back where you said, hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully there's something else that's going to happen.
I was always hoping that there was more to him than how he just appeared in the
No,
trailer.
but it was just the trailer. It was literally Batman versus Superman, Doomsday attacks, Wonder Woman stops the attack at first. And that's exactly what happened.
But it's still exciting to see.
Except over 2 hours longer.
It took too long to get to that. To me.
I'm glad that the movie, if anything, if that trailer gave us what it was, I'm glad that it took those 3 acts. I mean,
what do you mean it took those 3 acts to get to there?
No. It took those 3 acts that the trailer showed, which was the build up to their conflict.
But I don't want to see like all 3 acts in the trailer. I want to like the especially the Doomsday thing.
It
the
would have
Doomsday
been,
should have been the
amazing.
Holy shit moment. But at this point, when it finally happened, I was like, okay, now Doomsday's coming.
Especially since, like, are we going into spoilers now? Just nothing. Especially because it takes away from when Lex is revealing Doomsday and he's like, "Here's your Doomsday." I was just like, fuck you, Lex.
Like, why would you do? Like,
I was like, yeah, I already know it is. I don't need the line anymore.
Yeah, and then
it's not a surprise. You've ruined it.
Yeah, and when he's creating Doomsday, we're not like, what's Lex doing?
Yeah, what's he gonna do?
Like, oh, okay, this is where Doomsday comes in.
And we're is he gonna make a Bizarro? Is he doing? What's he doing? And then you're like, oh, we already know.
I'm gonna say it was just a really stupid idea to put Doomsday in the trailer. It just was.
I think I probably would have enjoyed it more if I hadn't seen it.
Yeah, like it's getting to the point where like they're trying to hype it up so much that they're just going to reveal the whole movie.
It was their Spider-Man.
That's not something to really defend. It's a studio decision.
Yeah,
you know,
it's a stupid decision.
It's a studio decision. It's a culmination of so many things.
It just sucks that it takes you away. It's when you're watching it, you're taken out of the movie for a little bit. I tried to be as into it as much as possible.
That was supposed to be a moment where you're in the theater and you go, oh.
The only thing I was excited for was I was like, okay, I want to actually see them fight him.
Yeah,
and it looked just like I thought it would, like Man of Steel, all the same like punching. You know how the camera like shoots out and how things move really quickly.
Yeah,
and I was like, yeah, it looks like that.
They had very contrasting styles in the way Batman fought and the way that everybody came together. Like when they had the scenes where Batman was fighting Superman. That was okay, but where Batman was fighting like everybody else in the warehouse,
you thought that fight was okay?
Was amazing.
No, that was awesome.
No, the one in the warehouse.
No, their fight.
Their fight impressed me more because it showed that the way Batman fights somebody like Superman, where it's not just power struggles against each other.
Yeah,
Batman has everything laid out.
Yeah.
He thinks things through.
That was the embodiment of Batman's always prepared.
Yes,
he had contingency
his
plans.
paranoia too was all in there.
Yeah, and they showed that even with the chase when he was chasing down the truck that had the kryptonite, because he shot the tracker first and then still went after it because the tracker was a contingency plan. They showed that repeatedly to show like this is the guy Batman is.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed that. Like to me, the whole Batman versus Superman part wasn't really like the all epic fight scene. It was just a really cool way of showing the way Batman fights somebody like Superman.
And not to mention, you can see him planting the spear before setting up his traps before the battle even starts.
Yeah, that was cool, and that was a completely different style than the way he fought in the warehouse. The warehouse was the one I was waiting for.
Yeah,
that was fucking cool. Amazing.
Unfortunately, I also saw that trailer too.
I did see part of the trailer.
They didn't do the trailer; they did the clip, but that didn't take away anything from it like Doomsday did. It was just even better.
And I like that me and Maggie were talking earlier about the differences between the way this Batman is fighting versus the other Batmans. I love that this is big Batman. I love because all the other Batmans seem to be like
he's
they're
big and fast too.
Yeah, like all the other Batmans were kind of like Christian Bale is the perfect example. They showed him doing martial arts in the first movie, and that's how he learns to fight. And then he just has a really cool suit, and he's in good shape.
He got worse and worse throughout the movies. Fighting,
but he wasn't like this big strong character. It was mostly like the suit, and then like the stuff he learns.
He was
Batman
slim.
Huh?
He was slim.
He was very slim, but in
Fit, but
especially
slim.
the Mark Hamill, where Mark Hamill does the voice for the Joker, the animated series. That's the Batman I grew up with. So
Kevin Conroy.
I'm used to a big, brawny Batman that could, even though he's not like a super person, he could punch through a wall.
Same thing with the Frank Miller Batman. It's very stocky.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's wide. He was so wide.
Which was Ben's Batman. That was Ben's Batman.
Yeah.
Frank Miller's.
Yeah.
The Dark Knight Returns.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I really liked. I loved the montage of working out, the Bat Gains. I loved the Bat Gains.
Which I attributed that working out so that he could fight with the suit.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was for.
The suit looked heavy. Like, you could tell when he walked with it. He walked a little slower.
Yeah.
You could, like, feel the armor. Like, on you almost. You're like, oh, yeah, it's so
I think that was one of the best
real.
fight scenes we've gotten in a comic book movie.
The warehouse one? Do you think the Batman versus Superman part?
Yes.
It was good.
It was, like, kind of worth the price of admission.
I think it could have been longer.
I wish it was longer.
It was.
We wish.
But
I wish everything was longer. But
Here's
I mean,
the thing you can't extend that fight scene that long because Batman wouldn't be able to hold out that long.
and there's
That's
a timer.
Yeah, well, that was the way to get out of that, is that there was a timer.
That I didn't.
Which Batman didn't know about the timer.
Yeah.
Superman kind of had a general idea of what the time would be, but I don't think he even got a specific, like, it's
Yeah.
8:50 right now. At 9:50, we're killing your mom. It
Yeah.
was just like, well, you got about 40-ish minutes left.
Yeah. I guess the
Which
reason
was dumb.
I didn't like I liked the way the fight went, but it went almost immediately. It was like when it started, I was like, yes. Then it was over. And like especially
It was
for
not
something
that short.
Huh?
It was not that short. There were like acts in that fight. I mean, it was Batman bombarding him with his traps.
Mm-hmm.
There was Superman recovering from the kryptonite and laying it down on him. And then there was...
Then the second kryptonite hit.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
for a movie
and it took
called
him down.
Batman versus Superman, there
was-
wasn't enough Batman versus Superman.
It wasn't about a fight, though. This movie was not about them punching each other, you know?
It was more about previewing all the other movies about to come out.
It's called Batman v Superman. V stands for a
Versus?
battle of ideologies,
Let's say it's like a trial. The trial of Batman v Superman.
sort of.
Introducing the plaintiff as a
I'd like to call a porn upon the
porn
next
star?
suit.
I thought you said I would like to call a porn star to the stage.
Character witness, Lois Lane.
It was weird how politically inclined this movie wasn't compared to Man of Steel, because it was more. I felt like it was more focused on what was going on in their heads and how they were feeling about things.
Yeah.
Instead of like the
'Cause
world.
it did gloss over a little bit, because Superman walks into the hearing or whatever that was, you know.
Yeah, it was a Senate
Yeah.
hearing.
Senate hearing, and he doesn't get to say a word, which took me by surprise. And then the explosion. Spoiler alert, right?
Yeah, we're working in it.
If you're listening to this and you're getting mad at spoilers, you can go fuck yourself.
Kramer.
This is no. If you're listening,
No,
to,
Ryan, please let me.
If you're listening
Let
to
me
a
tell our
review,
audience to fuck
if
themselves.
you're listening to a review podcast, it's a one thing. If you listen to a prediction podcast, yeah, no spoilers. If it's a review podcast, we're talking about the spoilers.
And we kind of just jumped around just to that fight, but I guess we'll
If you
keep going.
disagree, fight me.
I already did.
You will. Yeah, so there wasn't at that point. It kind of stopped the political debate of, you know, superheroes doing what they do and how there is a cause and effect for everything, and
Yeah, because they didn't go back to
what it means for him to actually exist.
They
you
made
know?
such a big deal about that until the end, and then or till that scene, and then that was it. I guess
Yeah.
you blow up the person in charge of that, and then no one else cares.
And I mean,
They did make an effort to show though. After that, people were like burning the
yeah,
Superman
no,
figure,
definitely,
so
it was
people
still-
were still changed. If maybe even more so against him.
Yeah. I thought at first that scene was Lex Luthor trying to frame Batman.
I thought
Yeah,
that scene totally took me by surprise. I thought that he wasn't in the courtroom. Lex wasn't in the courtroom because he was going to make his grand appearance because he's very like that. And I was like, oh, he's just going to show up and he's going to
but
be like,
Mercy started looking around.
yeah. And then when she
I
was
can't believe she was killed off.
Same here.
They built her up so much.
That's what I was getting at too. Like, first off, when he decides that he's not coming in, and after the explosion hit, I was like, he just sacrificed her. She didn't even need to be there. He could have just
That's
said,
Lex.
"Don't
He's
go."
done that in the comics
Yeah,
and stuff.
but I thought he was going to come out and say something and bring the case against Superman,
Ew, it was
and it just never happened.
with
But
that jar of piss.
Oh, the jar of
It was
piss.
extremely eerie and foreboding. I was like, I don't know what's going to happen. I like that.
and I didn't see it coming. But what I loved about that scene is as soon as everything blows up, Superman's face was just like,
yeah, he nailed
fuck.
Yeah, he's like, shit.
Like the craziness, there's fire all around him, and he's just completely like unharmed, but it just weighs
Like, I'm gonna
heavily
catch
on him.
So much shit for this.
Not even just that,
And
like
even that
personal of
that
like.
guy in the wheelchair probably didn't even know. You know,
I bet he
No,
didn't.
no, he didn't. Like, there were some people that were saying that, like, well, yeah, he knew because he looked like a little scared. And I'm like, yeah, because there's a fucking superhuman in the room.
No, he was giving him. No,
Exactly.
he was giving Superman the stink eye. You know.
Yeah.
That was what was going on with him.
But the thing about that is, I thought people would immediately go to the point of, like, blaming Superman, but, like, which is, I guess, what Lex Luthor was trying to go for. Mm-hmm. But after it happened, the news was immediately saying, we found out that the person who did the attack was the guy in the wheelchair.
You know what this movie did a lot through the news? If you listen to it, they kind of answered a lot of little questions for you. Like that. During the fight, they made sure to tell you at least 3 times that I remember, no one's in the town. They're fighting on a deserted island. Good thing it's dark because everyone's left the city. Like, it's after work hours. They've made it very clear, and I was like, that's their lesson from Man of Steel.
No, well, Avengers did that first.
Yeah, but, they had to do something about it. As soon as they started fighting, I was like...
they didn't.
I was like, look, they're causing destruction again. I was like, I wonder if they're going to bring that up. And sure enough, one of the news reports did, and I was like, okay.
Yeah,
They're covering their bases for themselves.
They didn't need to. I mean... That's treating the audience like a baby,
Yeah, well, they did a lot of that in this.
It's because they got
like,
such a huge backlash for it.
No, I understand that. That's the
they didn't need to, but
pressure, but it's too bad.
But it doesn't hurt to throw out. I mean, well, I didn't like it, but it doesn't hurt to throw out for everyone else. Like, look, we're going to cancel that argument anyone's going to have later on again.
Well, but there was a lot of parts where it could have been done a lot more subtly. Like, I believe, before we keep going, I want to say I liked the movie. Mm-hmm. Like, the acting was amazing. Ben Affleck, my favorite Batman.
Oh, yeah.
Like, as of yet, he's my favorite Batman so far.
Well, we were driving back, and someone it was one of my friend's girlfriends asked, so what did y'all feel about when Ben Affleck was cast? And like Brian Cooper and I were all like, oh yeah, it was like day one, we were for it, Yeah. It's like, really?
And he did not disappoint.
No,
he did a great job. Everything about Batman in this movie was great. The interplay with Alfred, great.
Might be one
Alfred
of his best performances.
Oh yeah,
it was so good.
Loved it.
It was sassy Alfred.
Yes, I love that.
Like, constantly,
that's
like,
Alfred.
Yeah.
That's Alfred.
Yeah,
it was so good to hear.
He
him
was not the size
of a tangerine.
Master Bros.
Master Bros.
You were the size of a tangerine.
Yeah, he was just constantly like, you fucked up the Batmobile again. Just shit like that. But like everything about like the Dark Knight part, I loved it. It was more the way the story was told as a whole, the way things were edited, the dream sequences. Like, I get, like, I had an argument with Josh on Facebook, which I think we're still having because my phone is blinking. But the way they did the dream sequences, the way the movie started off was with the kid Bruce falling into the little bat cave, and then the bats came out, and I was like, oh, this is a classic scene where the bats first start coming out, and then that's when, Little Wayne sees it for the first time.
Little Wayne. Nice.
And then they did the part where the bat started flying up, and then you see his feet come off the ground.
Yeah.
And he starts levitating it, and his arms are up to the side, kind of Christ-like. And I looked at the person next to me.
Right.
I looked at Maggie. I sat back in my seat. I leaned forward to see Juan's reaction, and Juan was already leaning forward to look at me and my reaction. And we just looked at each other and went, what the fuck?
What the fuck is going on? And then after that, he says, and that was the end of my dream. And I was like, oh, okay.
Which was supposed to be like either a flashback or like, they're still leading up to the main story.
I'm sorry, but I was like...
Dude, that made me laugh so
I was totally like in the know on the fact that was metaphorical or a dream. Y'all, that went right over y'all head.
After that happened.
No, I understood during that. Like, this isn't literally happening. He's not floating
because of his over.
He's not getting
talking?
Bat powers. No, it wasn't. It wasn't even because he said
that he wasn't getting bat powers. It's not what I thought when I saw that. I'm like, oh, this is where he learns to be the darkness.
No, I know you were
just then take him as one.
You were taking.
It was just what I'm saying is that it looked stupid. Like when I saw that happening, I was like, what?
Oh, okay. I didn't think so because it's a direct adaptation from the comic.
Of him like rising up like that? Is it really?
Dark Knight Returns.
It must look better in the comic than it did in the movie, because in the movie it looked fucking weird.
You know what? I don't remember that in the comic, and I've read that.
I think it was that one. I'm not sure though. I know it was somewhere in there.
Maybe. It's been a while.
even then, like, there's some things, and we've had this conversation about how, like the way manga transfer, where they try to make real life anime movies, it doesn't translate. Some things, like, and I know that especially when they try to do the live action movies, they want to stay to form, but there's a lot of things that for me don't translate. Like that scene, it just looked weird to me, or even they had a lot of dreams in this one. Batman, and I didn't know, are they dreams?
Yeah, there was two.
There's
two.
Oh, there was 3.
If you count the beginning, there's 3.
If you count the beginning, that's 3. Then there's the
flying.
one where
Flash wasn't 3.
No. That's not
no.
what I'm counting. I'm counting the
flying up.
The Batman as a little boy.
Batman is a little kid.
That's one.
Then there's
Yeah.
where he puts the flower in the grave.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
And
then
the man bat comes out
Yeah, that
from
was
his
a great
dad's
reference.
grave.
That was
Yeah.
a great reference.
That's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
And
That scared the shit out of me.
You know what? That's so I'm sitting next to your girlfriend and my girlfriend, and both of them jump, and I did it, and I was like, oh, they freaked out.
Yeah, they both got really scared when that happened.
And when they popped out there, I just feel them both go, and I was just like,
It got me a little bit. I'm like, oh.
But like, and I get that. I was like,
questioned
okay, another
myself. I
dream
was like, why didn't I
sequence.
jump for that? What's
That's
wrong
another-
with me?
That's another dream sequence to show like Batman feels that there's something wrong about to happen. And then there's another dream where it shows the dark side soldiers.
Yeah, the
Parademons.
Yeah, but at the same time, at that
They looked
point, I
great.
was like,
They looked really cool.
we're 3 dream sequences in the movie,
But
and
you have to go off that Man of Steel also had those same dream sequences. It was very similar to
yeah.
Man of Steel in like
Well, his were
story
like-
and directing.
His were sort
and
of flashbacks, right?
but it was like the skull one was more of a little like.
Oh,
weird.
there was that
skull
fever dream. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a little.
but the way the dream happened, especially that one, because it was a dream that was actually a premonition that went into a warning from the future.
yeah.
That he woke up from. So it was like this weird. It was the way it was done. Like I don't mind Flash coming back and like giving a warning about the future. I don't mind like the dark side references. It was the way it was done, because it was just a block of like dream, premonition, warning, but still a dream. Batman wakes up.
I think the point of that was to make you think, like your average person, that all of that is like a slight dream, but the Flash was not, and I think they're trying to like play that off as like maybe it was a dream.
Yeah.
And it's gonna pay off later.
Well, but that goes back to the subtlety thing that I was talking about.
That's
like,
going to pay off in Justice League.
yeah, that's gonna pay off definitely in that. But like that is also like straight from comic too. The same panel of
Infinite Earths.
Infinite Crisis of Infinite Earths, where he's telling Bruce that, and he's disappearing as he's doing it.
But like, is that storyline tied in with the dark side storyline?
It's tied in with Justice League.
But that's what I'm getting at, is that all these subtle, like with the Marvel movies, when they do stuff like that, it's very subtle. Like there's stuff in the background that people.
Wow. I really disagree with you, pal. Okay, though.
It's more subtle than it was done in this movie.
I mean,
They're not as subtle anymore. Maybe that's just because I get them now, but
Not anymore.
No, that's fine. I don't really care about comparing all of these things. It's
even
just-
like the sheer amount of them. It was so much like, I know you're watching this movie, but we're trying to hype you up for the next 7 movies that are coming out. So we're going to reference every single one of those movies.
Well-
and it wasn't done subtly. It was done like,
Yeah, the dreams were in your face about it, right? Like we had an extended 5-minute scene of that nightmare desert scene, without
Nightmare
too much
with a K.
explanation.
but it was like
behind
a
right?
reference followed by a reference, because it was the Dark Side reference followed by the Flash.
Well, the Flash wasn't a reference. That wasn't like a dream. Like he was there.
But it's still alluding to something to happening later on, and nothing to do with the immediate movie.
Actually,
Even if you had spaced those two out a little bit, that would have been a little better.
one way I think it pertains to the movie was
I also agree on that.
You agree with me?
No,
He was-
what he's about to say.
so there was a couple things that he said. I didn't hear it all. I saw the movie twice.
I rewatched that
And
part.
it was still
It
okay.
leaked
I
last night.
So he says a couple things about Lois Lane
She's
being
the
the key
key.
to something.
Yeah.
He says you were right about him.
Mm-hmm.
And Well, go ahead. Help me out.
Actually, now I can't remember.
Damn.
I think that was it.
There something he says to Batman that
Find
prompts
her.
him
Find her or something.
that kind of plants the idea in his head to find the Justice League members.
Yeah.
Right? These metahumans. He says just a feeling at the end, right?
Yes, that's where I was going to get back to that.
And people are thinking that prompted him to do that too quickly. Or it's like... Because Flash, he was in an armored suit or something like that.
Yeah.
It's that's kind of a reference to a dystopian type future that we've seen from the comics. Like we said, it's a comic book movie made for comic fans.
Yeah.
You know, like if you're not really in the know, you won't find these nooks and crannies. But my brother and Brian went nuts, distracted me. I got caught up in it. Didn't know it was Flash.
I mean, neither. When we walked out, I said, I didn't know who that was until I rewatched it, and I was like, oh, that's him.
And I was like, lightning.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
yeah,
Like, you know?
the lightning, right?
Actually, Maggie caught it before I did because she was like, "Was that Flash?" And I was like, "Holy shit, what?"
When we saw it, I got a lot of this stuff like driving in the car. Like we
Yes.
talked so much, and it kind of snapped to where I was like, we were talking about the dream sequence, and I was like, I don't think that was a dream. And Daisy was like, well, why do you think that was a dream? I was like, it's meant to look like a dream. That was time traveling.
And then
as
time
soon as
travel or world hopping or dimension or something like that.
Exactly. I was like, and then I was like, well, who does that? Well, the Flash does that.
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit, that was the Flash.
Yeah.
I was like, but I need to rewatch it to confirm because it looked like he had armor on. And that's what threw me off.
And he had the hood.
yes,
So I was
he
like,
had
Red
the hood.
Red Hood? No.
Well, that's what I thought when I was watching it because like as it came back, I was like, "This is clearly something from the future." I was like, "What?"
That Red Hood
Yeah.
could
But
actually
it
be a
didn't look like him,
reference-
so I was like, "No, it's not."
The Red Hood could actually be a reference to one of his Elseworlds looks.
Oh,
Because
okay.
he's got a helmet that covers his face. But
Well, but the part that I'm arguing about that isn't that was a bad scene.
no, I know.
Here's
was-
my
it was-
argument for against that would be that if someone's going to contact you from the future, there's no subtle way of doing it.
No,
the subtle way to do it.
I don't mind that not being subtle. It's the fact that it's a reference after a reference. It was the dark side thing going directly into the Flash thing.
I think that's the only way they tried to make it subtle, was to make the average person think it's part of his dream,
Yeah.
part of his premonition, that even when he thinks he's awake, he's still getting something. And that's the only way to hide it, because he could have just been sitting there and it could have happened,
Yeah.
and you would have been like, well, that's way out of left field. He's just decrypting a
That's
thing.
true.
The only way to hide
That's
it
true.
and to trick people
Lesser of two evils here.
is to put it with a dream sequence that you know is a dream. And now as this guy's telling you also that something's wrong, you realize maybe he's seen that premonition is like an alternate path that he's seen.
I disagree with that because with a lot of the way they do dream sequences in movies is like whenever they started off with him in the desert, that immediately seemed like a dream because he's just sitting there looking at a loading screen and then it's something completely abstract in the middle of the desert and there's a bunch of weird shit going on.
Oh yeah, it's all
You're
like apocalypse style.
Yeah, you're like, this is clearly a dream because we didn't jump forward 50 years. Mm-hmm. It's clearly a dream. But with a lot of movies, what they do is that they'll go into something and something will feel like it'll go into a weird thing and you don't realize it's a dream until the character startles and wakes up. And you're like, that was a dream or was it? They could have easily just skipped the whole desert thing, just went to him looking at the loading screen because it was going 1.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, and it was pausing, and then it was 2. And I'm like, this fucking shit. This happens to me all the time. But like he could have wiped his eyes and be like looked like he was a little tired because he just finished the montage of working out.
Yeah.
So he would have been really tired. He's looking at a fucking loading screen, which we've all been through. We all know when that happens, you're just like, oh fuck this shit. He could have been like wiping his eyes, and then the Flash thing happens, which was immediately followed by him going, what was that?
But okay, go on.
I was gonna say, to me, the way I justified that not being a dream, but like it seeming like a dream, was if something happens that's that like crazy, you can easily just like that happens and you're like, and just like pass out.
Have you ever had those double dreams where
we
you think
also
you wake
saw
up
papers
and then
strewn
you
about.
realize you're still not awake?
I had that last week.
That's weird, yeah.
Yeah.
We also saw like his papers all strewn about and like that created. So it was like to seeming like it was actually there, real.
But but that's the thing is that you didn't have to have the dark side thing right before that.
Well,
that's what it seems
if
like.
Flash is talking about Superman here,
Yeah.
when he says you were right about him, that pertains to the dream he just had. That is
Yeah.
a direct notion to the fact that
Because he tells him when Batman's captured up, he tells him, "You took her away from me. The one thing I loved."
Yeah.
Like, I took that dream sequence as like also he's being shown that for a reason, and he sees all this stuff happening. Superman going crazy, basically working for Darkseid, maybe you know.
Yeah.
And he's got his own troops, and all this bad stuff is happening. But why is it happening? What's going on? And the Flash is now, after he's kind of shown him this dream for a reason, this future, this is what's going to happen. And now I can tell, I have a brief window to tell you, Lois Lane is the key. Don't fuck it up. And then it's done. Then he wakes up. That's his way of showing him something.
That's why. Because if Lois dies, this is what's going to happen. That's why he's right about it.
Okay.
Yeah. That's the way I took it.
I have a theory that he might actually be using a boom box, a mother box, a boom box.
Blasting his sound system to the
theory that
He's outside of Darkseid's window with the boom box.
That he's using a boom tube.
Yeah, so he can go through different dimensions and intergalactic space
And that
all this
might
stuff.
be maybe there's some sort of multiverse theory as to why a little bit of that future leaked into Bruce's mind when he tried to contact him.
I've heard a lot about that. Like people were talking about that it's going to be. One podcast I was listening to was talking about how this might actually be the precursor to the bad Justice League.
Yeah,
The Injustice,
Justice Lord,
Justice, yeah.
Like that's what we're actually watching. But then the good Justice League is going to come, and the good Justice League is the alternate universe to the universe of what we're watching. Mm-hmm. And
I don't think it's that extreme, but I mean, yeah, I think that's.
But that could always happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What did I see recently that I saw that there was an Injustice reference?
Is his armor?
Is it his armor?
Yeah, his armor looks like the armor he's wearing in that.
Oh, okay.
I mean, Flash's armor.
It was something I saw like just today too, and I don't even remember.
I want to skip to something completely different than what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And Maggie also pointed this out to me, which makes me think that she's not. She says she's not a fan of DC, but she picks out a lot of things. Like, whenever he was, whenever there was a fight between Superman, Wonder Woman, and Batman versus Darkseid, Doomsday. I'm focusing on Darkseid now because I actually do want to see that.
Yeah.
Whenever first Superman went, then Wonder Woman went. And the part with Wonder Woman that I really liked was that she was kicking his ass.
Oh, yeah.
Because Kryptonians are weak against magic.
Yep.
And that's how the lasso.
They're susceptible. That's a kind of a myth. They're susceptible to magic. They're not weak against it. Magic works on them.
Mm-hmm.
If it was a Pokemon card, it would be weakness at the bottom.
Okay,
That's
whatever.
the way I'm seeing
this
it.
isn't Pokemon, motherfucker. I'm just
But
saying.
it works. It works. But that's what I'm saying. I like that when she used magic shit, it worked on him.
Like the last owner sword.
She did mention.
Yeah, like her sword clear cut his arm off, and he was just like, "Oh shit!"
Well, fuck you.
Yeah.
I
Not
got
to
my
men-
own.
Her
Yeah.
shield is blocking all those attacks.
Yeah, like-
and so is her little cuffs,
Her
Yeah.
bracelets.
Yeah,
I was about
Armlets?
to say cufflinks. Her cufflinks. I was like, that's not the word.
armlets.
Armlets.
Yeah,
Gauntlets. I don't know.
Gauntlets.
gauntlets. No, the gauntlets. The whole hand.
That's the hand. You're right.
No, it's like an armlet, or there's another word for it, but I don't remember what it is.
Yeah, there's an official name.
bangles.
Yeah.
Bangle.
No. Bangles are like a bunch of rings,
Okay,
Yeah.
okay,
like
okay.
single rings.
Okay, never mind.
Like that guy from Kung Fu Hustle.
Point is, I like that the magic was working on the whole.
Yeah.
But the part that Maggie pointed out is that when it finally got to Batman's part, Batman was like, "Nope, fuck this shit."
He was like, I'm a guy in a suit.
Yeah, but like the way he escaped, like the way he used the grappling hooks to escape, she was like, "Holy shit, that's like the Arkham video games, like the
Oh,
way
yeah.
he like moves in the video games."
Yep.
And I was like,
Except you never crash into a wall in the game.
Yeah, right. That's so very ungraceful.
He
He's
had, to
like,
move,
"Gah."
he had to move fast.
"Yeah."
I get that,
But, like-
I'd love to see him like use his grappling gun. On a side note,
the way he used tools in this movie was better than I think a
Gadgets,
lot of
motherfucker.
Huh? Gadgets. I'm sorry. Whoa. But like,
do you have them?
like the battering
Yeah.
was really cool because you
Yes.
don't see that a lot, or like in the new Batman movies, it's more like
No, he never used it. He used it on a lamppost.
Oh, yeah.
One time in Batman Begins, it was never again.
Yeah, and
He made a big deal about it because he was making it, and he's like, "I'm afraid of bats. I want to make them afraid of it." And then,
but like in the
Turns
older
out they're not very cost effective.
in the older movies, like he uses more batarangs.
Yeah.
And in the TV series, he used them all the time.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
yes.
And like the way he just like when he was fighting in that warehouse scene, he just turns around and batarangs a motherfucker in the chest. And I was like, yes,
Batarangs a motherfucker. I like that line.
I was like, that was one of my favorite parts. I was like, holy shit.
So, are we 100% more hyped for Ben to direct his Batman movie?
Yes.
Oh
Oh
my
my god.
God.
Like I said earlier, everything Batman in this movie was perfect.
Yeah.
The only thing that I guess I got to me was them spreading out too much into the is it multiverse? Yeah, the EU.
Okay, yeah, the EU.
They didn't. They're not easing into it, which is, I guess, they want to catch up with Marvel, or maybe they're like, no, we want to do the exact opposite of what they did.
They're not only catching up; they're getting all their cards on the table before this golden age ends.
That's true,
They're
because they're
not gonna-
very late to
it's
it.
Yeah.
not going to last very much.
But I guess for somebody who like you said, for really in-depth comic book fans who've like read all of the alternate
yeah, we're
storylines
able
and all
to
that,
put all the links.
they
together.
get the alternate universes and shit. And then you have, because there's levels of like the people who are into this stuff. Like me, I'm not into the like, oh, I've seen like the 7 different versions of Superman. I know the very basics, which is you have like the people who know nothing about comics, the people who've they've seen the stuff on TV. The people who like they've read a couple of comics, they've watched the shows, they played the video games, and then there's you. I'm not, but like,
Oh, you mean me?
yes, you. Like because your knowledge on this stuff goes really in
And
depth.
then there's you.
Like you
I didn't
know,
even include you in the list.
like whenever shit happens, we look to you to explain it.
Yeah,
And that's the thing. Like that's what you did. Like everything that you're telling me, the dream sequences are starting to make sense, and I'm like, okay.
I mean, it's a testament to this movie that for me personally, the more I think about it, it's not falling apart. I'm putting it together.
Yeah.
That happens to me sometimes, where I walk out of a movie being like, woo, and then I think about it and it kind of starts to fall apart on me.
Yeah,
I
it's
had
the opposite.
I had the opposite of that too. When we left, I remember telling you, you were like, "What did you think about it?" I was like, "Yeah, it was okay."
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
fun.
I was like, "It was good,"
And then you start
but
thinking
I
about it,
wasn't
like,
excited.
oh.
And
Yeah, because I was kind of looking at you the whole time we were doing this podcast, like this motherfucker lied to me.
But-
It's like no, because like you got time to think about it.
Yeah.
and shit fell together.
Yes,
and you're like
all this stuff I'm
oh.
telling you about what I thought of the dream sequence was all between 2 days of just all I was doing at work was thinking about this, thinking about that. I got home and I started reading stuff and I started thinking and I started like talking out what I was thinking. I wrote down all these podcast notes because I'm just like thinking about the movie so much. It all started to like click together and I'm like, I get it. I enjoy it way more now, and I want to see it again because of that.
Which I think this is where the negative reviews are coming from because the movie appeals to 2 very distinct opposite groups. People who know nothing.
Yes,
because they're not impressionable from anything else, or they're not. That's not the right word. They're not biased of anything else that they saw before. They're like, oh, so this is what Batman and Superman are. Mm-hmm. And then you have the people who know everything that you're like, holy shit, I can't believe they're going this in depth.
Yeah.
And then there's the people that are like in the middle that they're like, is this Batman?
Yeah, they're like, I get it, but I don't get some of it.
See,
Like,
this movie was less inclined to pander to
The average person?
sort of like
Your average moviegoer.
sort of like
or casual fan.
They were less inclined to create a movie that on a base level can just be entertaining and from start to end, and that's about it. You know, they were much more inclined for hardcore comic book.
they were like, we want to go balls deep in
Which
this.
is, you know, it's
cool.
That's considered a critical mistake, right? That's considered a box office mistake.
Yeah, because you want to get as much people as possible into your movie.
I mean, fuck, I loved it, you know, on a lot of levels.
That's why people didn't like Watchmen, and he did Watchmen also.
No,
same
Watchmen
case
was
there.
great. Watchmen was fantastic.
Watchmen came out way too early.
Oh yeah, definitely. It was very similar to these movies, and people hated Watchmen.
I read
but
a
like
review-
Watchmen was really good. It was for
Watchmen was
it was for
fantastic.
fans of the comic.
I saw a review that like compared this. They said this was less Avengers, more Watchmen.
Yeah,
and
I
they
saw
didn't
that,
and
yeah.
they didn't like that fact. You know,
I saw a similar thing, and I was like, why? That means it was awesome, because Watchmen was awesome.
I actually heard people saying that it was Watchmen, but not Watchmen enough.
Well, it's not supposed to be Watchmen.
Yeah,
that's a weird statement.
yeah. and I
There
was
was
like,
there was a
Watchmen enough.
I went back to some reviews, and there was a bunch of dumb reviews. People were like, "Oh, it wasn't funny enough."
No, that's-
I'm like, it
I
wasn't
know. This one
supposed
wasn't
to be
supposed to be funny.
funny.
I mentioned
Like-
that, yeah, especially critics. A lot
Yeah.
of them were
I'm like,
very open about their bias with superhero movies, how they are with Marvel, and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And like, this isn't that, and they didn't.
well, but I liked
This is
how dark
different.
it was.
They were going for a dark thing. Man of Steel wasn't funny either, unless you laughed at like when Pac can't get sucked into that tornado, which is really funny, but it's not meant to be funny.
this film had more laughs than the first one.
Yeah,
Totally.
I really did.
There was
It was
wit-
like
there
two jokes,
There was
but-
wit.
Yeah,
There was wit, but it wasn't festered with every character.
yeah.
Quips.
And that is a small, that's a
quips.
small thing that, like, Spider-Man's not going to be extremely unique in the Marvel movies.
Yeah.
Because everyone's
Everyone's
like,
funny, right?
Yes,
But-
but Spider-Man's supposed to be the funny one.
Yes, Hawkeye's supposed to be the funny one on the Avengers, but
Really?
It's funny looking.
yes, no, he's a quipper.
just kidding.
He's a quipper, witty guy.
He was
The
funnier.
fact that he's in the Avengers is comical.
Iron Man is not at all witty in the
No,
comics.
no, he's
Now he
not.
is because they're
Yeah.
that now, but. And that's.
But you make a good point.
I don't
is that
complain about that.
You make a good point that the whole comic book universe has been skewed towards entertainment, like comical entertainment.
Yeah.
It's going the way of the cartoons in a way,
Yeah.
where people are really starting to prefer these oversimplification, sort of.
They just want to see the
oversimplifications
characters,
of-
but not necessarily in like more comic book roles.
they want to see them, but not think about it
Yeah.
afterwards.
Yeah.
Is that like becoming a trend that people like? Because I love movies where you have to like think about them a little, and you can really like after they resonate a while, you realize like, oh man, all this stuff was on purpose. So genius to do stuff like this.
Yeah, it's always.
And
that's-
I don't think people are into that too much anymore. Maybe like your average audience member is into that too much.
it's a fun step.
I think it
a
makes
fun
me
step
enjoy the
after
movie
seeing
more.
the movie.
Well, but we've been spending most of this time talking about how they're going like very, very true to form, like almost an extreme true to form.
Yes,
But there was one thing about the movie that did not stay very true to form to me.
kills.
Yep. Right? Is that
Well, no, I wasn't gonna go with kills. I loved the kills, by the way.
I didn't care.
I like.
It's not bad. Like I didn't like Batman killing, but whatever.
Well, the way I looked at it, and the way I've talked to a couple people about it, is that this isn't the when Batman starts off. This isn't
20
Batman
years.
getting into it.
Yep.
He's not like full of dreams, and he's like, I'm gonna make the world a better
Full of
place.
dreams.
Like this.
I'm gonna do it, guys.
But yeah,
When I
like,
grow up, I'm gonna
this
be
is
the
Batman.
Batman.
In the
where it's
beginning,
like,
he was Superman.
this is Batman after he let the Joker live, and one of the Robins died.
Yep.
This is
Yeah.
Batman where he's like, you know what? I'm sick of this shit. I'm going to start branding people so they get fucked up in jail. I'm going to start doing sick shit.
Oh my god! Yeah,
I thought that was cool.
I thought that it was a little more shocking to me that another one of those examples of being in the news that having that brand is almost a death sentence.
Yeah.
And-
But that's the thing about like this new Batman is
Yeah.
that it's because we're already like years into it. Well, this is 20 years into Batman. His excitement or like his level of I don't know what the word is. Not
he's
the morality.
lost hope.
Yeah, he's lost hope. He's like, this isn't just me, trying to reach a goal. This is just me, like when that comment he made about the villains. He's like, they're like weeds.
Yes,
Yeah.
So
exactly.
it's not so much like I'm going to make the world a better place. He's like, I'm just here to purge.
Even on
I'm here
his
to take out as much of the rodents as I can.
when he even talks to Alfred and he's like, "We've always been criminals." It's
That's,
like,
that's a Dark Knight
that's a
Returns.
very like big step in his realization that he's not a hero. He thinks of himself as a criminal too.
And I think that's a big reason why they put the Robin suit in this one, because it explains why he is the way he is now.
Yeah.
This is the Batman that's been broken. This is like he's like, because the Robins are his family.
This does change things about if they decide to adapt the Red Hood story, because the entire one of the big plot points of that movie was that Jason was killing the criminals,
Yeah.
and he didn't want him to,
Yeah, actually,
so it's going to be weird to.
oddly enough that you bring that up, but I watched that last night.
Such a good one, man.
I love it.
That's a good movie. I still want them to adapt that though.
I would
For his-
I would
for a
think that'd be
solo
really
movie?
good. Yeah. But you're right. If he has a problem, if he's already killing people, what's going to be the problem with Red Hood if he shows up?
It's probably maybe that he's just
Maybe Red Hood takes
the shock of it. Maybe he's going to be more just brutal about it.
I don't know.
Batman seems to kill, but like indirectly kill.
In the Dark Knight Returns comic book, I think there's one. I don't know if there's 2 or 3, but there's one moment I know he shoots someone in the head, and it was when he's holding that machine gun to that guy who's holding Martha hostage.
Mm-hmm.
He says, "I believe you." In the comic, he shoots him in the head. In the movie, he shot his tank. But
Yeah.
he does kill in the comic in that specific. He doesn't quite run over people.
Yeah, this isn't like I'm just gonna
Batmobile.
go out and do a bloodbath. This is more like I'm killing, but it's purposeful.
Yes.
Yeah.
Whereas like you were saying, if they do bring in the Red Hood, where his killing becomes a problem.
But that's exactly Red Hood's like motives too. I'm killing because it needs to be done. These
Yeah.
people are just going to come back.
I mean,
But that's where you get to where like maybe they have a disagreement on like how far, like who to kill.
Yeah.
Like maybe Red Hood is like his criteria. He's like his standards for who's killable.
Mm-hmm. Or he's like killing when he doesn't need to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there were like his kills in the movie are kind of need to basis.
There need to.
Yeah.
Also, a lot of them are still a little indirect. Like the shooting of the tank. He didn't have to shoot the guy in the head.
Yeah.
The guy died anyway, regardless, but he didn't personally shoot him in the head.
Or
He
the
shot
cars.
The tank.
He didn't, necessarily like. It was just like there's no way I can do this without shooting at them because they're shooting a Gatling gun at me.
exactly.
They're shooting Gatling gun.
Yeah.
Those bullets could go anywhere.
Yeah.
Got to put a stop to it.
Yeah.
The grenade was indirect. Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah.
That was that own guy's
Whereas
fault.
maybe Red Hood might be going through a warehouse where they don't know he's there yet,
And he's just slaughtering them.
Yeah, just slaughtering them as he goes through, and they're like, "What the fuck was that?"
Yeah.
And then halfway through, he's like, "Oh shit, this is the wrong warehouse."
Because I could.
What the fuck?
Because like, oh well.
What a twist, Kramer.
Oh man, they're making iPhones in here. Damn it! It's not the Coke.
but that's not actually what I was going with the thing that didn't stay true to form. For me, it was Lex. Like,
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah. He's Lex, but he's different.
it's exactly what I'm saying. Like,
Well,
I'm not saying I didn't like it. I liked it. Like,
I liked
Eisenberg
him the
isn't
more I thought about it. That was the same. That was another one of those things where I
okay.
thought about it more afterwards, and I like it.
Well, no, I liked Eisenberg. It just wasn't the same Lex that I was used to.
Yeah, we've
but I
never gotten his Lex before.
Yeah, no, this was a very cool Lex to me.
Last one was Gene Hackman, and he was goofy.
We were
No, it was
talking.
Kevin Spacey, who played Gene Hackman, kind of.
Oh, okay. Oh, no, as you mean the most like recent.
We all forgot about Returns all of a sudden.
Yeah.
No, I remember Kevin Spacey.
I forgot
I
about
loved
that.
Kevin Spacey.
No,
he was.
I like him as an actor, but I totally forgot about that. I went straight to Hackman.
I mean, yeah, Hackman was funny.
Yeah.
But the reason I like this one, and like a lot of people were like, "Well, what's his motive for this one?" I'm like, no, his motive seems pretty clear in this one, because for this one, it's more of a. And this is going to get very philosophical for a moment, but I'm blaming that on the movie because they got philosophical with it first. It was because of the way he was raised and the way his dad treated him, he doesn't believe in a God. And he's very against the idea of a God existing, because if a God did exist, then his explanation in his head for why he was abused doesn't make any sense. So when he sees somebody that represents what everybody is calling a God, he's like, no, I need to accept that there is no God, or else I can't handle what happened to me. And that's why he gets a little insane with the fact that there's a God character now. So, and that's what the speech is about. If there's a God, he can't be good.
All powerful.
Or if he's all powerful, then he's not good. Or if
he's all good, he can't be all powerful.
Exactly. And he has to prove that
He can't possibly be all powerful.
Yeah, so and for him to stay sane, he has to prove that either A, Superman is not all powerful, or B, that he's not all good. Mm-hmm. And that's his motive.
I like that. I didn't even think about that, but I really like that.
That's definitely a more psychological link for him.
But that was
Superman.
good.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not complaining that like I don't like this Lex Luthor. 'cause
Nobody
I
got
love-
that from him. You know that, right?
What?
Like we're the 10%ers with that Lex.
I'd say that, yeah, because I didn't even catch that. My whole thing was like,
people were quick to go to like, oh, he's a bad Joker impression or something. You know,
He was more Joker-ish.
Someone told me that too.
Definitely,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that was.
But that's
the
not a
nature
bad
of-
thing,
That's
because
the
Joker is a good bad guy.
I wouldn't quite compare him to Heath's. Heath.
No.
No,
This
no,
is not
no.
a Heath.
Like
But it's
Heath-
definitely more of a like kind of like,
His thing is
He was manic.
a happy manic.
Yeah. His thing to me is that they did a very good job of him being so not
He's also young.
It's because he's not intimidating looking.
He's also young.
But there was he's not intimidating, but there was something about him that was
scary
and intimidating.
Yeah.
He got into people's personal spaces too much.
Yeah.
And that would make you feel really uncomfortable. When he pushed that Jolly Rancher into that dude's mouth.
Yeah.
That was funny, but then I laughed and I was like, that's weird.
Yeah, that was really weird.
Yeah, I laughed and I was like, and then I like why? And then I was like, he's just asserting dominance on this guy.
Yes.
And it was so creepy when he gets to talking to the senator and he's really close to her, just tapping his hands. Yeah, he's just he just does that to people.
Yes. Yeah. But the part that got me was like the comments I heard, and like one of them was we were talking about the way they introduced him, because I'm used to Lex.
Big
all
body,
business,
or he's a brawny guy. He's got stature.
Halfway when they got to that point of the movie where they introduced him and he's playing basketball, Maggie leaned over and she was like, "Are we watching the Facebook?" Because what they seem to portray,
they took the away. Huh? They took the out.
Yeah, but like what they portrayed was who owns Facebook? What's his name?
Mark Zuckerberg.
Mark is like a crazy Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah,
well, it's crazy. Jesse Eisenberg's Mark Zuckerberg, right?
Yeah, Well, it was more like that. He wasn't like this corporate guy. It was more of I'm a fun startup.
Yeah, I'm a fun tech
welcome
genius.
to Google, like that kind of boss. But seriously, but after he introduces everybody, he's going back and strangling kittens in the back.
Another comic book reference for Lex is that he is a junior. In the 90s, actually, this pertains to the Death of Superman storyline. Spoiler alert. He died in this movie. Lex in the 90s was a clone of Lex Luthor. He had red hair, and he was called Lex Jr. He was his biological son, sort of, quote unquote.
Oh, didn't he have a beard in the Death of Superman?
Yeah, I think so.
A giant ginger beard.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So I had this really fun theory before the movie came out that it'd be the best thing.
Wow, he just ruined the story instantly.
I forgot what I was talking about.
Sorry, you're talking about Lex Luthor beard?
It'd be the best thing ever if like Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor died in the movie and we're like, why was he in one movie villain? And then at the end we get the swinging chair and it's Matt Damon.
Oh, I would have loved that.
I'm glad it didn't happen though. But I mean,
that wouldn't have fit in at all.
I'm thinking bald Matt Damon, and I kind of like it.
Fucking Elysium, he was bald.
Yeah.
I still haven't seen that one.
I remember reading theories that Lex Luthor was going to be a clone before because he was so different. Yeah. They're like, oh, he's going to be a clone.
He's a kid in this.
Yeah, I heard a lot of people saying like, was Lex Luthor supposed to be like the original, and this is like his junior, and that's why he's nothing like he is in the. But that goes again back into the thing of like, not everybody watching, like most of the people watching are used to their Lex Luthor is the black Lex Luthor from the cartoons, the big bald guy.
I think he was dark skinned. I don't know if he was like a black guy. I think.
Was he not black?
I don't know.
You know what? I thought he was black too.
I don't know. It's hard to say. It's really hard to say.
Like, what would he be if he wasn't black?
I don't know.
If you're only part black, people still call you black, right?
He's just tanned.
Superman was.
That's a fucking dark tan.
Look, okay, you just leave his tan alone.
Superman was also very tanned as well.
He was very Italian colored.
He was what?
Very Italian.
Did we throw you off with black Lex Luthor?
I actually I was always concerned Idris Elba could play fucking Lex Luthor.
Yes.
But like that Lex Luthor, the cartoon one, the one, it would have been.
I have like a half jump for that right now. That would have been good.
He's going to be in the Star Trek movie.
Yes, he is the voice in the trailer.
Yeah, he's the bad guy.
We're not excited for that movie yet.
No.
I still don't want to see Star Trek movies.
Yeah.
What was I going to say?
But that's more like I was saying. That's not the Lex Luthor that everybody knows.
Yeah,
and that's where maybe some of the contention comes from.
I think at the end of the day, it was maybe even more effective to have this young spastic Lex played by Jesse Eisenberg because he was asserting his dominance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
the fact that he was able to, the fact that he was calling Bruce and Clark
Clark,
boys and stuff like that.
Well, and that's the thing.
It's very
Like, it goes
ironic.
into the psychological fact, but then there are people like that that stuff happens to them a lot in the real world all the time. But when it happens to somebody who's a fucking multi-billionaire that has access to a whole bunch of shit, it's no longer like, oh, I have crazy ideas. It's, oh, I have crazy ideas and I can make them happen.
Yeah.
And that's when they don't see people. There's one thing when you're in a position of power, but when you're in a position of power and you're crazy, you view everybody as ants, which is why he plays a game with people who everyone else sees as gods.
Yeah.
Okay, no one's saying anything. So, changing gears real quick to his files on the metahumans.
Okay.
Not saying anything.
He had an omega symbol there as well. I didn't notice that.
I didn't catch that.
Yeah,
I
he
rewatched
did.
it.
He did.
I missed that one.
Yeah. So that definitely tells me that he was very obviously talking about Darkseid at the end.
Oh yeah, I took that as that.
I was like,
I
there's
got-
the possibility he was talking about Brainiac because he said he's hungry and
He's hungry. Yeah.
But I think Darkseid is.
I took it as Darkseid but the way I got to that was different. I took that as he's somehow got in contact with him or learned of him through the ship when he's being told about all these 100,000 species.
But
And they're like, we have a whole database of all this knowledge and stuff, and he's like, teach me.
Well, but the way that we see those files is when Batman stole them,
Right.
and that's before he gets into the ship.
That's what I'm saying. Since I didn't see the Omega sign in the
Yeah,
thing, I took that as I made my connection of that's how he learned about Darkseid, and that's probably who he's talking about.
Yeah.
But since that's in there, that's really interesting.
This Lex was very up on his game with having Plan Bs over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Because that was what Doomsday was. He was a Plan B, and then ringing the bell, which is what the bell's already been rung, is a Plan B, a C or whatever
for all of it.
for all of it. I don't know where it was.
I
going.
kind of
That's just
don't.
a statement.
But the way he made Darkseid seemed a little unviable to me.
Doomsday, he means.
Doomsday, fuck. The way he made Doomsday, like it was, like he walked in there, he learned everything in half an hour.
No, it's like I think like a day or two, right?
Is
I
that how
took
long
it as like a
takes?
day.
I don't think he did that all in a day. I mean, I don't think he did that in an hour. I think that
I think
was
it was like a
there
day.
It
was
was like
time that-
over the course of the movie he was creating.
There was time that passed by. For
Yeah,
sure.
I
It had
took
to
there
be.
wasn't a lot of time, but it was at least like to me, it's probably like two or 3
Okay.
days.
Maybe it was just the way it was like edited in the movie because
Everything's going so quick.
So I
It's
have
right
a
at a
thing
climax.
on how Doomsday is created. Is that murky for you?
No, well,
Process or the fact that he was able to do it at all?
both. Go ahead, enlighten.
yeah. Listen,
Okay, so the first thing
You
he
had
does,
my curiosity. Now you have my attention.
The first thing he does is collect Zod's body
steal
Phase
the
one.
steal the
int-
fingerprints.
with the intent to
I like that.
access
That was
the
cool.
ship, right? He learns whatever about Krypton and its science. Most likely, he is a scientist,
Yeah,
and then he goes to his plan B, right? He thinks, I'm going to create a Kryptonian that can do the job that needs to be done.
kill Superman.
Uses Zod's body. Now the blood going into using his blood to
I didn't get that.
I
Why did he
assumed
need
that was
to
him
have his
trying to have
blood?
control over that. He thought that would give him control over.
no, that's it was a mixture of DNA, right?
Yeah.
And what's interesting is that in the comic books, whenever Lex uses his DNA with Superman's, it
Oh, I
creates
know.
Superboy.
And Bizarro,
No.
doesn't it?
No, Bizarro is like an alternate.
No, Bizarro is totally stemmed just from. It's a messed up experiment gone wrong based
Oh, okay.
on just Superman's DNA.
Oh, okay. I
but
thought also Lex had mixed his in there too.
I don't think so.
Is there?
But I do know about the Superboy.
Is there another where it's like an alternate Superman? Because I thought that's what Bizarro was,
Bizarro,
like from one of the alternate universes.
not an alternate universe. He's supposed to be a clone of him, but
Okay,
it goes wrong.
Never mind. Then I have that origin story completely wrong.
The blood, I'm not sure. Could be something he learned from the ship. about mixing DNAs. The AI did mention about it being a forbidden,
Yeah.
practice to create abominations like this.
I like when he was like, yeah. And how long
how'd
have
that
they
go?
been dead?
Yeah.
So they're gone now. Yeah.
Did it use
then
the
just
word,
do it.
Did the computer use the word abomination?
It was one of those.
It
types
said
of
something
words.
like that, yeah.
Okay, because I remember
No, I'm sure they didn't say abomination, but
Are you sure? Because I remember thinking about.
They cashed Marvel a check right then and there.
so he puts he puts his DNA, he mixes his DNA with Zod's, and he goes into one of those little incubating spheres
Yep.
that we saw Kryptonians being born in on Krypton.
Yeah.
And then, so a friend of mine had a problem with the fact that he came out grown, like an adult, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Because Kryptonians were always born
They're born just normal.
babies,
Yeah.
right? With it, but
But
it was
belly-
Zod's body, right?
Did they have belly buttons?
huh?
Did they have belly buttons?
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't see that one time when Superman lifts up his stomach and
He
you can
doesn't
see
have
his
a
belly
umbilical
button and
cord.
Lois gives him one of those like raspberries? It's in there.
What?
And Man of Steel.
I'm going to ignore what Juan just said and point out, but he doesn't have an umbilical cord. Or does he in the pod?
Yeah, in the pod they have an umbilical cord.
Okay.
I think so.
I
hope
can't
so, because
remember.
where's that belly button coming from?
Maybe he
I'd have to
doesn't
see
have
it
a
again. I
belly
don't know.
button. It's to his butt.
Also, does Superman have a penis?
He has a cloaca.
Zod doesn't. No, I'm kidding. I don't know. I just think that
That's a whole nother
who
question.
cares?
That's an
They're
episode topic.
They're like, he lost it because he turned into a monster. I don't know.
He
Penis?
Yeah.
He pulls down
He
his
lost
pants
the
and it's like a
penis?
weird tentacle.
Maybe he lost. They made it a point to not show that section of Zod's dead body, so maybe it was there, but he lost it because Zod's like, oh, that's a weakness. I mean, Doomsday's like, that's his weakness, and gets rid of it.
I thought they just did it so because they didn't want to show him flopping dicks all over the screen.
Maybe he had a huge erection.
Dr. Manhattan up
It was
on
all.
the screen.
It was a tentacle with a
He's
little
the clerk,
face.
so he dies with the erection.
Maybe it just looked really weird. Like it was like a long shaft with like a little face on it, and they were just like, "We can't show this."
They made it. They sculpted it with Doomsday.
It's
Like, no, we definitely
It's
can't
like,
have that.
It's like a cheetah dick where it has like spikes coming out of it.
yeah, right.
God.
Anatomy.
That takes the whole bathtub scene to another weird level. If that was the case,
That's why he has to keep his clothes on whenever they do anything. He was like, "I'm gonna keep my clothes on." She's like, "That's for the better."
did anyone else have that? Maybe I have dumb thoughts during the movies, but like anything I watch, I have dumb thoughts that I have to kind of like tell myself, "Shut up." But when he jumps in there, I was like, "He just got water everywhere."
No, I thought the same thing.
She says that, right?
Did she say? I don't even.
She said you're going to get water everywhere. He's like, I know.
I was like, "What a mess! You're in your clothes, man. Take them off. You ruined your shoes."
That's called passion, man. You don't give a shit.
I was like, he had nice
It's called
shoes on.
passion until she does his laundry later, and he's like, "Fucking Clark."
That's a brand new
He
pair
could
of
just
shoes,
heat vision
man.
up this floor. All that
Sauna.
evaporates.
Yes, he could. Yeah.
Until the moisture in the sauna ruins all the electronics in there.
And the walls start.
The
like,
walls
peeling
start
off.
bubbling.
There's mold in the bathroom. She's
Yeah.
like, "This is because you put water everywhere."
Remember that time you had to just jump in the bath with me?
He's like, "It's okay. I'll take care of it with my heat vision." Wall destroyed.
Send it to space.
It makes sense that. So there was a point made about Kryptonians being born with purpose, a specific purpose.
Yeah.
Right. And so Lex mentioned he's created to destroy you. So that makes
yeah.
sense that Doomsday would just,
Okay.
Was Doomsday gonna attack Lex also? It seemed
Yeah, I
like
think
he was
so.
gonna kill him because he jumps towards him, and that's when Superman kind of catches him.
Well, but that makes sense because if you think about it, where Lex is making something like Doomsday, this is the first time he's doing anything with alien technology. He's obviously not going to get it right off the bat.
Yeah.
So it makes sense for him to be like, "This is how it's supposed to work," and it looks right at Lex, and he's like, "Ah, shit."
Yeah, right. I actually thought it kind of was.
I'm sure he knew Superman was going to block that punch anyway.
That's true. Yeah, I could see him being like that.
He's predictable. I mean, Superman's fucking predictable. So,
Yeah.
Um,
I would like to point out, I
ahead.
really liked when Ben Affleck went, Oh shit!
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it because that was the point where like Batman looks up and he's like, "Oh, I'm way over my head."
No, he's like, oh, I'm not getting out of this one.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Shit, there it goes. It was a good run.
Yeah. Okay, I want to talk about Wonder Woman because
Me too.
I really like the actress that they picked for her.
Yeah.
Surprising.
I
yeah.
had a couple of issues, and this goes into the reason I liked Batman is because they went true to form of like the way he is. Like he's big and he's buff. Wonder Woman is also very buff. Like she's not like
She's small but buff for her size.
she's not
yeah.
Mr. Universe.
She's buff enough.
She's also tall.
Well,
Oh, yeah. Well, they're Amazonians. Right?
but like the actress that they chose, she was a Miss Universe at one point, I think.
I just
Something
know
like
she was
that.
in Fast and the
She was-
Furious.
Yeah, she was some sort of model before all this.
Yeah, but like there was a couple of times where they don't show her like they with the end part where this is where it stuck out to me because as I was watching
Stuck
the
out.
movie, no, not that part.
I'm just
But,
playing.
Put it back in after
when they
that?
first did like the original pictures, they showed her, and I guess she hadn't done like too much working out yet because I heard that she did a little like martial arts stuff for this. They just showed her originally in the outfit, and like she was skinny, and I was like, I don't kind of like that Wonder Woman because Wonder Woman is supposed to be like
You mean the
strong-
1918 picture?
Huh?
You mean the
No, I think he's talking about press photos before.
Yeah, the press
When they
photos
released just her
Oh,
picture.
no, yeah, that makes sense.
And the
yeah,
costume.
but like Wonder Woman is supposed to be, that woman who embodies strong women.
Yes.
Like she's supposed to she has she's toned, and in that I was like, does it really match up? But then during the movie, I noticed that she looked a little buffer than she was before, and I was like, yes, good. But there was the scene whenever Superman's dead, and I shouldn't be laughing when I'm saying someone's dead, but it's when Superman's dead, and then Batman's looking over him, and then Wonder Woman's still standing there, and then she looks away. I looked at her figure, and I was like, that's not natural.
do you
Because there
mean?
was like, if you look carefully, like the way her legs are, they don't start like her butt comes around, and then it goes straight down into leg.
What?
I don't know what he's talking
What is he
about.
talking about?
I don't
What you
know.
talking
I was
about?
like, you could tell it was very CG'd at that part when she was standing there because it didn't look like the way she looked the rest of the
Like
movie.
in her clothes? In her funeral outfit?
No, he's talking about the. I that was almost like a Trinity shot to me, but except Superman was dead on
Yeah.
the ground.
Oh,
but
okay,
the,
okay.
the
Yeah.
last
Like,
shot
as-
where Lois is holding him.
Oh, okay. Hey, that was straight from the comics. That was
Yes.
cool.
Yeah, but like the way when she was standing there, I looked at her. She doesn't look like the way she looks.
I don't think
in
he
the
was
rest
immersed
of the
in the
movie.
death.
Yeah, I was like, comparing it to that's just like Death of Superman. She's holding him. Kramer's like, her leg looks weird.
That's the part that stuck out to me. was-
I have to see it again. I don't know.
Same here.
You have
I
to
don't-
when I
literally
looked,
show me.
well, I guess it sticks out to me because like I'm really into fitness and like working out. You can't tell by my stomach, but I used to at one point be really into like going to the gym and stuff. So that stuff sticks out to me a little bit more than other people, I guess. Like to me, where a lot of people are like, I don't like the workout
You
scene.
think
I'm like,
there was an inconsistency with how she looked while the shooting the film, and they had to compensate with CG?
I think at certain points they rushed a couple of things. Where like there was a couple of points where I saw like edits where the scene looked really nice, like the framing was great, photography wise it looked awesome.
Yeah.
But then it didn't seem to flow too well in and out. And it may just be like from me editing a couple of things to where
No.
like little things bother me here. And
I
there.
noticed that in the first hour. Like I said, there were a lot of like 60-second scenes,
Yeah.
and they were jumping around a bit.
Too much.
A little bit disorienting. Then my second viewing was much softer on that.
Okay.
Because I knew what was going on.
Yeah.
So I was able to follow that better. But and that's the thing that I was saying in the beginning, where I had the director's cut in the back of my mind, knowing there's a whole half hour missing here. I wonder how much that affects the flow of the beginning of this movie, the first act and
Yeah.
a half or
Because
so.
I think that's what got a lot of people was the editing. Like
Yeah.
the editing seemed a little jarring at times.
I mean, we can't. I mean, it happened. The same thing happened with Avengers. You know, the studio's cracking down on having a longer movie. Nobody wants a longer movie.
Yeah.
It's less tickets to sell, less money to make,
Yeah.
and it's too much that it's just going to fly over most people's heads.
Yeah.
So
But then you ruined so much pacing of the movie.
yeah,
Yeah, like,
for real.
So
I think that's
don't
the main
even-
thing of the movie that gets me is like the pacing of it, which is
Yeah.
why that's why the references to the other things seem a little too condensed because they didn't have time to space them out throughout the movie. Everything seemed like going back to that scene earlier, and I promise this is the last time I'll talk about this.
This dream.
If they had the desert scene in one dream, and then the Flash thing a little later in another dream, that would have made more sense to me, I guess. Or maybe it just felt too...
Well, it would have made more sense to us. But
Not to us, yeah. It wouldn't have made any
we
sense.
feel like it's connected.
Yeah, it works perfectly to me.
Or maybe it's like because it seemed too condensed in the movie that they weren't able to like... The movie didn't breathe too well.
I mean, it definitely sticks out.
It's because that scene, when they get to that dream sequence too, is the longest one-shot thing you see. Everything else skips and skips and skips. It stays on everyone to say 2 lines and then they leave.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. It's a big editing
It's
thing.
an editing thing. Which makes me excited now you said there's 30 minutes of
There's a whole half
extra
hour.
footage. Because I bet it flows so much nicer.
I have no doubt that it'll be superior.
Yeah.
And I'm glad it'll be the definitive version. Because there's nothing in there that's going to take it out of the canon of the universe.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just adding.
That's
so
good. I'm actually very excited for that.
it's adding the fluff it needs.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Back to Wonder Woman.
Okay.
Oh, good. I was
What-
gonna
She
go
was
there.
very surprising.
She was so good.
Yeah, I heard a little bit of people complain about this, but I really liked the fact that she's not just the goddess in her own world.
Oh,
The way she interacts in the human world is that she's rich as fuck and just does whatever the fuck she wants.
Yes.
She's just like the scene where they show her in the footage is her taking money out of an ATM because she's just completely loaded, which makes sense because she has like ancient treasure that she's built up over hundreds of years. And that like she's basically, you know what? I don't want to deal with you people's shit anymore. I'm going on vacation. And it's just her going around, going to museums. She's like, oh, this is nice.
for 100 years.
Yeah. Right.
Which, if I had a shitload of money, that's all I would do. Would be going around collecting shit and going to museums and zoos and fucking like, I'm gonna live nice. Which is what she did. And I like that that's how they portrayed her. She's not like, but not kind of like, the trashy, woo, I'm rich and party way. She's like, no.
She's classy.
I'm a classy person. I'm a woman of power and stature.
And taste. Good
And taste. Designer clothes and shit.
Oh, yeah.
I know some people didn't like that. I really like that.
That's what Daisy said to me when we left. She's like, man, all those outfits were amazing.
Well, yeah, because if you're a strong, sexy woman with a lot of money and a strong personality, you're going to act like she acted in the movie.
Yeah.
Which was done very well.
Her alter ego to Wonder Woman was like just as good as when she was in costume and when she wasn't.
Yeah.
Although
She's
I have
very,
to say,
strong.
she looked like she stepped right off of the set of Fast and Furious when she was on the plane. It was almost the exact same. Her hair was tied back the same way. She looked. I was like,
She looked a little more casual.
I haven't seen the last Fast and Furious.
I don't know if you
she's
ever
not
get
in
on
the last one.
I don't know if you've been on
shit, I
planes
don't know
though, but you want to be casual.
Did there seem like I know it wasn't a lot of product placement, but maybe it was the commercials that I saw ahead
That was
of
the
time.
Turkish Airlines.
Turkish
commercial?
Airlines Jeep at the beginning. Or
That was the Batman v Superman Jeep from the commercial.
Yes, they had the commercial for it, and then as he was doing the scene, I was like, all I could think is the commercial.
Me too. I was like, oh, now the guy's gonna be like Batman v Superman: Dawn of Jeep.
But they didn't have the Jeep logo accentuated.
It was in black.
Yeah, it was. So I was like, okay, that's good.
That's because that whole car is all blacked out. The rims, the logos, the lights. It looks.
Yeah, they did all the product placement outside of the movie.
Yeah.
And then just had the stuff in the movie, but
You're
not like in
goddamn
your
right.
face. Mm-hmm. Which was done. That's how you're supposed to do it.
Yeah,
That's a
so
good
that
way
when
to
you
do it.
connect those dots when you're watching the movie, you're like, oh, there's that Jeep we were talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a thought.
Oh.
And I can't remember it.
That's okay, because I want to talk about Wonder Woman too.
Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead.
I loved just her like willingness to fight. Every time she got knocked
She was
back,
totally into it.
She loved it. She'd
Yeah.
get hit. She gets hit up against the wall, and she gives that face of like, "Oh, nice hit," and then jumps straight back,
Yeah.
straight into the fight, never letting up.
Well, and that's a big part of what Batman. Well, Batman kind of has it, but not really, and Superman doesn't have it at all. She's been doing this for hundreds of years.
She's a warrior.
Yeah.
She's just straight up.
And-
That's what she's.
Yeah, and to
trained
warriors,
stuff.
fighting is fun.
Yeah.
You could like the way she smiled. I was like,
Oh, yeah.
oh, she's getting into this shit.
I love that. I loved it so much. She was
Yeah.
taking hits. She was giving the hits.
And you could almost say that it was her coming out of retirement. She was like, oh, I miss this.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
She seemed super into it, and
I
I
have
love
goosebumps.
that.
It's a good thing that they're with her movie coming out next year. I almost said month. They're going to make Wonder Woman the most iconic female superhero now on the big.
I
screen.
like it. I think she's going to do a great job.
I think so too.
Not
This-
that Marvel's really pushed anything yet. We still
Yeah.
haven't gotten their like Captain Marvel or
Yeah.
That's about it.
That's really it. Oh, Ant-Man and Wasp, maybe. But
That's about it.
That's
about it. You know, not that there's
That's
too much competition, but I mean,
Black Widow,
that's
so-
the way it should be.
But I like the choice of what's her name? Gal Gadot?
Gal Gadot.
Yeah, that's how you say it.
Gal Gadot?
I think so.
Very good choice. Because I've seen, I heard it was
Let's see how she does with emotion.
what's that movie that they did recently with
Oh yeah, she gets to carry a whole movie.
Keanu Reeves?
John Wick?
John Wick. They're doing a John Wick 2.
Yes.
And there's supposed to be a strong female character. And they chose somebody who seemed very random to me.
Okay.
Was that girl that Kanye used to date that put her finger up his butt?
Amber Rose.
Yeah.
I don't like no fingers up my butt.
But they chose Amber Rose.
Did you know about him
Yeah.
screaming about that at a concert?
She has a shirt that says "Jesus ate my ass."
Oh my god! But that's like a perfect example. It's like, and I'm not trying to talk shit about Amber Rose, but she does, like, if they were to cast somebody like her as Wonder Woman, I would have been like, no.
You know what? I didn't even know that. I've never heard of her being in any kind of acting thing.
She isn't.
She's just a model, right?
She used to be a famous stripper.
I don't know who it is.
Oh,
We're talking
Amber
about.
Rose.
she has a shaved head. She's kind of just famous for that. And
and you know,
having a big
butt
butt, I
fingers.
think.
I don't know.
And but that's about it. Like, really, that's
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
But I get what you're saying. If it was
Like they could have just taken like they could have said like, you know what, somebody who's exotic, has dark hair. Let's get Kim Kardashian to do it. They could have easily just said that and been like, you know what, that'll be fucking awesome.
Yeah, not Zack Snyder or any of the people working on that
but
movie.
that's what I'm saying. Like a lot of studios could have easily done that. They're like, you know what, it's a female character. Let's not take somebody of, you know, a good, you know, acting background or something like that. Because Gal Gadot, if I remember correctly, I think she was like a former Miss Universe, or at least contending for it, or something like that, or
Something like
or at least Miss Israel.
Yeah. Something like that.
Yeah, but like, or she's acted before and she's proven herself before. But they could have easily just been like, oh, let's just grab somebody to like pretend to be this. But they didn't do that. They actually got somebody who was an actor.
I was always saying before this movie came out, like WB's casting, they cast so well.
Yeah.
You know, and people were down about Ben Affleck. They were down about Jesse, and then Gal Gadot. And I'm like, I trust them, you know, and that paid off.
Yeah.
You know, they know what they're doing with their casting.
I was when they announced her.
Even Ezra Miller. A lot of people have opinions about him.
I have no.
Flash.
Ah, okay.
I've never seen him in anything.
Me neither.
neither have I.
But I've heard he's a fantastic actor. He's a bit more method than people are used to because he plays like transvestites or something like that, and people are like, "Oh, cool, we're getting a gay Flash or something." Like, shut the fuck up. Calm down about that. I mean,
Well, see, that doesn't matter at all, though.
no. But I mean, my point is,
We also have a
WB
gay
cast-
Magneto. Nobody gave a fuck about that.
No, that was 2000. Nobody was talking about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think he's gonna kill it in his 5 seconds that he showed.
He
looked
better.
like Flash.
He looks okay.
He's gonna.
He looked
bring,
all right for
He
Flash.
looked like Kylo Ren in the
Yeah.
to me in the security footage.
He didn't look like.
Oh, wow.
He looked like
I
Kylo
see
Ren.
that
Yeah.
now. I see that now.
I've never seen him before. I've just heard his name.
When the hood pulled back and he's just wearing the mask.
The mask, yeah.
He looked like Bucky to me.
Oh.
And I was just like, what's going on? Why
Crossing
is Sebastian
universes.
stand there? He's going to bring a lot of levity to the Justice League, which is the way it should be. He's the motherfucker. And maybe even Hal Jordan, if that's the Green Lantern that they choose to bring back. Both of them are much lighter the way that it should be. You know?
yeah.
We talked about this, the way they portrayed the next few, like in the file where they're
the
showing everybody.
metahumans, yeah.
I like the way they did Wonder Woman. It was just like a photo. A lot of the other stuff just seemed a bit too. And then the Flash one, I kind of liked.
The Flash one was fine to me.
Aquaman's,
Yeah,
it's there
this is
just
a little
like,
much.
we want to show them stuff, but we got to have some weird hidden camera
but it
for
was-
some reason.
The thing
And
about all those was that it felt completely unnecessary to reveal him that way.
of course it was. I mean,
It was lazy.
It was a hype factor. It got me hyped.
I
I just saw Aquaman on the big screen. You know, he looked great.
He looked great, but I felt nothing to it. I feel like if you wanted to show the Flash, maybe have a hint of the red streak saving someone. in the background.
Something a bit more ambiguous than just like, here's clear footage of all these people. Like, to me, it just seemed like the way when you're watching a YouTube video, and then on the side, there's like, oh, by the way, check out these videos.
But it does lend credence to Lex being on top of everyone. I mean,
that was like
his
paranoia.
stuff. That was his
like research.
Yeah, but that goes more to like where I was saying like that could have been done a little bit more subtly, as opposed to like even the file call was called Red Flash.
I did like that he had also given them all these logos, like, already.
Yeah, he designed their logos.
He designed their logos. Well, you know what? The only one that I guess I really didn't like was Aquaman's was okay. A little weird because he kind of pops out. His eyes are glowing. That looks cool. When you see him, he looks badass. I thought he just kind of stared a little too much at the camera. And the only thing that bothered me, and the only thing that bothered me was that I know this is shot underwater, and I can see him trying not to do anything, like with his mouth. And
you could see who's holding his breath.
Oh, okay.
That was the only thing that bothered me because it stayed a little too long to where I noticed that. And then Cyborg's explanation was too much for me.
Yeah, they did a bit too much of it.
That one was a little too heavy-handed about, I'm clearly trying to do this, and he's in the background. He looks cool in the background.
Yeah, the visual of it was amazing. Like, just having, like, all his body parts missing. And, like,
maybe they could have just had the third part of that where he has the mother box.
Yeah.
And then that forms on him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
well, not even the stuff forming on him. It could have just been, like the guy going, I don't know what to do. And it just has the body in the background. And just cut that.
I would have loved just that. That would have been cool.
Yeah, that would have been a good, like a nice, subtle, like, because some people are like, what was that? And then some people have been like, was that Cyborg?
Yeah.
But then, like, you saw everything go, and you're like, oh, yeah, it's Cyborg.
Because I was trying to figure out ways last night of how they could have done it differently. The Flash, I figured, maybe you just see him saving people. It's just red Flash as they're fighting. Aquaman, I was like, I really couldn't figure it out. For a second, I thought he was going to come out of the spear with out of the water.
Save Lois.
And save Lois.
I think our entire...
That I would have, like, no. He comes out of a sewer, like, and just like, I'm here.
That water, and then I thought to myself, like, that water doesn't connect to the ocean. When it was happening...
That's like rainwater.
I was so sure. I was like, he's going to come out of the water. I was like, no, shut up. That would be dumb.
And then at the same time, it's asking for way too much.
Exactly.
I was like, something that's packed already.
Yeah, I was like, maybe they just didn't have to show him. Like, but I'm whatever.
Well, that would have been to the point where, like for me, it already felt condensed. Mm-hmm. Condensed. I would just lost all like speech at that point. It was so condensed that if they had done that, it would have just been the tipping point. And I'm like, no, too much.
And like, I guess it was just the video diary. I've seen that so many times as explanations for backstories and stuff that it's so like overplayed and it's just like obvious.
Yeah.
And I was like, they could have done it differently. I like the way you said it. They show him saying, I don't know what to do, his dad, and you can see Cyborg in the background. And maybe when he takes out the mother box, it shorts out the camera or something as it's starting to move.
Yeah.
That would have been cool.
We do have confirmation that it was manipulating itself.
Yeah.
Which
Well, but like,
which shows us that Cyborg is going to be able to manipulate his armor.
Oh.
He's going to be able to do
that'll be
some
cool.
crazy transforming shit.
Because I had to
Cyborg,
look
I'm really excited about that one. I really want to see.
And they're connecting him to. With that, they're connecting him to Darkseid and Apocalypse even more.
because of the box.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a recent trend in the comics.
That's I had to
His
look that
armor-
up to be New 52 like
Yeah.
and I'm not caught up on New 52 stuff except
Damn it.
Batman. So I had to look that one up and I was like, what is that? And then they're like, oh, it's used on a Planet Apocalypse and New Genesis.
Yes, something like that.
So it's just part of their technology. And I was like, oh, okay, well, that's even cooler. That's the tie-in. He fuses with that. You see it building his legs. Like, that is pretty cool. But anyway, just maybe a little better. I don't know.
Well, like the one with Aquaman, that one seemed to be way too much to where like it could have just shown the eyes and then like the
spear stabbing
yeah,
it?
the trident coming
Trident?
out and then just like destroying the thing and then you just see the of him coming out of the ship.
I would have fucking lost my shit if that happened.
That would have been really cool. But then he came out and you're like, oh, it's Aquaman, and then he just stood there and you're like, it's still Aquaman.
Yeah, he's like, I don't know what this is.
Yeah,
what are you?
Or with the Flash, they could have just never shown his face. It could have
Yeah.
just been like red streaks.
Well, you know what?
And that would have been enough to get me excited.
His is the only one I didn't mind because it was so well done to where he's just getting milk and he happens to look over. It splits to the screen. And if you watch, because I rewatched him like a million times already, like literally I can't tell if it's like an after image but he's gone literally less than a second. And then the blur happens over here, but you can still see him standing there.
Yeah.
He only disappears off frame for like a quarter second. And then you see the lightning and the blur, and then all of a sudden this image starts moving. So I'm like, I wonder if that's like a quick after image of him standing there, and now he's back. But like just like that is so cool.
He's moving as fast as he should.
Yeah. He's moving fast and like just super quick. It's done. He took care of the robber, and he's back to his normal thing. That's why I didn't mind his too much.
Yeah.
But I did like, and also because it's in a convenience store, it seems like someone could have easily caught that. And been like, what the hell just happened here? Because there was an explosion. You just finally happen to see this other guy, and you notice he disappears for the slightest of seconds.
Yeah.
Dude, there was a part that we were talking about earlier about like why the email doesn't make sense. And I was
It was a weird email.
I've tried sending you an MP3 before, and you can't send it over email. I was like, is this email? Is this Google Drive? Is this Dropbox?
What did they do? Because you can barely send 2 pictures in an email now. Like,
yeah, like if it's HD video, there's no way you see.
It was a bat email.
It was a
I don't
bad email.
understand. What is?
Shut the fuck up! It was a bad email.
You got a bad credit card, motherfucker.
Okay, first of all, I want to know, how does he have her email address?
Where did he find that? He's the greatest detective
What
in the
comic
world.
book is that in Ryan?
Maybe he found out that she's Diana Prince.
Maybe.
Okay.
There's some assumptions that
Yellow
have to
books,
be
motherfucker.
made.
Not everybody owns Diana
Yellow
Prince's
books.
Wonder Woman.
Not everybody recycles them. Batman keeps them.
Spend 2 days just going through the pages, calling people.
I mean, this
are
is-
you Wonder Woman?
This is Batman we're talking about here. So.
Okay. I do like that that does explain a lot of one of my favorite things about Batman is Detective Batman.
Yeah, they finally
Yeah,
did it.
and they did it.
and it was
Yeah.
right smack dab in the beginning.
Yeah.
You know, and he
That was the only part of the beginning that wasn't boring to me.
Um,
Is Detective Batman.
The part where he goes to the party.
Like, just know as he's being a detective,
Yeah,
like,
he's
he's looking for the white Portuguese and he's doing his
Yeah.
research.
The Russian.
Going to the Russian, paying that dude so he can watch people fight each other just so he can win. And
Yeah,
Hey, he's gonna come up on you. Use your left jab.
yeah.
I like that he.
Here's an extra $5,000.
Where he was like, "I'm gonna break into the house," and he's like, "You're invited." He's like, "But I really want to break into the
Yeah,
house."
right.
Yeah, I know. He looks at the bat suit like, I really want to do this instead.
Come on, please.
And then he
Bruce
looks
Wayne
at
can't go
Jason's
steal
suit.
this.
He's like, all
Yeah.
right, I'll
Oh man.
Put on your other suit, Mr. Bruce.
Oh.
But the whole sneaking into and using the computer, like, that was cool too.
Yeah.
He's good detective Batman. He kept going to the computer a lot, and I was like, good.
Yeah,
Good.
the computer. Yeah.
Yeah, every time he's not
'Cause he's
doing
always
anything
at his
actiony-
computer.
He's always at the
if he's not
computer.
like kicking ass. He's like, no, I need to learn what's going to happen next.
Yeah.
Which is what I really liked about the Batman in this one is he was Detective Batman. He was contingency plan Batman.
Thinking ahead.
Yeah, that's the Batman I want because Batman is supposed to be the reason every time they put him against Superman, the reason he wins is because he's planned this shit way ahead of time. He's like that because there's always some people like when I met somebody one time who was really quick at insulting people. Like anytime somebody tried to insult him, he would always come back right away with like 5 lines, and they were just like, "What the fuck?" and they couldn't say anything. Mm-hmm. And I talked to him, and he was saying the reason he can do that is whenever he meets somebody, he always like analyzes the shit out of them and immediately comes up with 5 insults, so that in case they ever come after him, he can go after them.
It's a little psychotic.
Just a little.
No, he's fucking crazy. But,
Yeah, right.
But
That's a tempered psychotic.
yeah,
though.
but that's kind of what Batman does.
Yeah.
Batman's like, "Oh, you're a hero too. I need to make sure if you come after me, I can kill you."
That's just low self-esteem.
Well, but he kind of has to be because he's the only one without superpowers. He's kind of like, if I don't do something, Superman could kill me.
Yeah. And too, he sees him as a huge threat.
So I've looked online and found so many comments of people, this isn't a negative, people admitting that they're like, I never knew both their mother's name was Martha.
I didn't know that either.
You know what? You
I
never-
got that same thing too.
And it was the same thing with me. I was like, oh my God. And I almost rolled a tear because the scene was really good.
It was, but But there's the
You know what? I justified it too.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to hear what you're going to say and see if if my justification was solving that.
It's that it becomes funny when you think about it like stepbrothers.
Did we just become best friends?
Yes. Your mom's name is Martha? My mom's name is Martha. Are we best friends now? Yeah.
I'm a friend of your son's.
As soon as you start thinking about it like that, but now, when you go back and watch it,
No, I already got the experience I needed from it, so that's fine.
yeah. But like, if you go back and think, like, knowing that is to go back and watch it, I'm just gonna laugh every time.
And you know what? It's because I never think about his mom, Batman's mom.
You never hear the name Martha Wayne that much. You know? You hear Martha Kent.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's the thing. Even in the tombstones, his father said Martha before he died.
Yeah.
You saw the tombstone on her grave.
They make it a point to show you that.
You don't see Thomas, you see Martha Wayne.
Yeah.
Well, and
That's
because
good.
with Batman, you don't hear his parents' names too often because they're dead. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kramer. That's the reason.
And even when they showed the sequence in the beginning, which was beautifully shot, by the way.
Yeah.
The opening scene of
Man, if there was
pearls on the gun.
If they were ever going to redo how many times have we got to see Thomas Wayne die?
Right? But this one was good.
No, yeah, it was extreme.
It was amazingly shot.
Very superior to Chris Nolan's.
Oh, yeah.
That was one of the things I was never 100% satisfied with.
It was so good.
Was his parent death scene in the Chris Nolan movie. It's adapted from The Dark Knight Returns with the gun.
Pulling the
pearls and breaking them.
But I was going to say, even just to accentuate what you're saying, that they show her name a lot. When he's lying on the floor, Thomas is like, Martha, It's his last words. Yeah. So they make it a point so that you know this connection, and it just flew over everyone's head.
So was it weird that Maggie and Negan
Maggie and Negan?
His mother and father?
Well, you don't watch Walking Dead, Kramer.
Oh, no.
And they were apparently 4 years apart.
Really?
Yeah, no, I don't think so. They're in real life.
Oh, man, that was, yeah. I told that the days
Why are you
afterwards.
looking at me like that?
Because I'm thinking. I zoned out.
You're just looking at me and you're like, watch another show, Kramer.
You should watch Walking Dead.
I'm trying.
What season you on? You said 3 last time, didn't you?
Yeah.
I think he's lying.
You know how many shows I've been asked to watch?
I think you
I
asked
have to watch Daredevil. I have to watch Arrow. I have to watch Walking Dead.
You know what?
I have to watch Jessica Jones.
You
I
need
have
to watch Daredevil.
I need,
for the podcast.
Yeah. I think Kramer forgot his lie. That's why he went,
But like, I have to catch up
What
on
did I
all
tell
this
you on
stuff that I'm just like, shit, I don't know where to start.
I have to watch Walking Dead. I mean,
I got a lot of shit to catch up on.
did you like Daredevil season 2?
I haven't only watched the first episode.
Did you like the first episode?
I love the first episode.
Okay, the show's
which one?
Second season's good.
Of Daredevil season 2. I can't wait till I get a break in school because I'm gonna
Look at me like
watch the
that.
shit out of it.
Yeah, it's very good. I like them.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is like with me now that I'm out of school. Because the first thing I started doing was watching, like, everybody's told me, like, you have to watch Doctor Who. So I started watching Doctor Who.
What the fuck?
You don't
Kramer?
have to watch Doctor Who.
It was a couple of people. I didn't finish watching
When
it.
did you start from the very beginning?
No, they told me just start from the first season that's on Netflix, which is like season 8. Because I told them I'm not going 30 years back. I'm not. But I started watching that one. I think I got halfway through that season, and then I kind of petered off. And then I had to start watching Rick and Morty.
Oh, well, that's good,
It's
though.
fucking awesome. But like, I'm still catching up on all the shows that I didn't watch while I was in school. Because while I was in school, all I watched was Naruto. Because I was already like so behind on Naruto.
That's all I do at work.
Like we were saying, like we told you about Cowboy Bebop, but like you still got to finish up on Naruto. And when you have those series that are so long, you're just like, shit.
Yeah, and even me, I've skipped the fillers, so it's still taking a long time.
Yeah, I have this weird collector mentality where I have to watch every episode in order, which is like maybe why I didn't get too into Doctor Who, because I was like, I'm starting late. It doesn't feel right jumping in.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I can't stand skipping an episode, missing part of an episode or something.
Even
like
when
that.
people say, no, you can start at this point.
No, I don't.
I'm like, no. I have that.
I'm not skipping 1, 2, and going to 3.
Yeah, the same way I'm like, when I go to Insomnia and I'm like, I don't have this DBZ Funko yet. Like, or like if you were to see another one of those big Labbits, you'd be like, no, I need it.
I know which ones I'm missing, and I'm like dying to get them still.
But I'm like that with like the Naruto episodes. I'm watching the fillers, and I'm like, why the fuck am I watching these fillers? And I'll still force myself to watch them, and I'll hate it.
You know what? I understand what you're saying. I'm exactly the same way. I like to know all of the show, everything about it. But when it comes to fillers, I have no patience for them at all. It's because most normal shows don't have fillers.
Yeah, it's funny because DBZ was my only inlet to anime as a child. And that show didn't have a lot of filler. It was more just kind of...
like just stretched out.
Stretched, right?
Yeah.
Naruto has got fucking chunks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I'm not used to that.
And that's the first show that I came across the same thing, too. Because when I watched it in like high school, like freshman year or something, there was fillers then. And like I just was like, if I need to get through this, I need to read it, so I know what the actual story is, and I can skip all these shitty episodes.
The book looks good. I love the artwork.
It's awesome.
Naruto did a lot of where they'll get to an episode and they'll just drag on a speech because they're like, shit, the next chapter isn't written.
Yeah. And then they'll do flashback again. I saw that. I saw that
Too
flashback
many
already.
flashbacks.
It's a problem. But
it's
I can't complain
still,
about the show.
in my opinion, like one of my top 3 animes, though.
Or they have to explain what they just did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was telling Juan that we need to have an episode regarding animes. Which is worse, fillers or alternate storylines?
Alternate, depending.
It depends.
Because, like he was saying, Full Metal Alchemist is a really good example of a good alternate storyline.
Yeah.
But then I just finished Hunter x Hunter on
Netflix?
Crunchyroll.
Oh, okay.
And the ending was so bullshit, I almost threw my computer.
I haven't seen that.
It was... I'm going to spoil it because I know you guys aren't going to watch it.
So
I might watch it. You said it's good, right? I actually thought
Up until the ending.
I thought about reading it because I get through things quicker that way.
Yeah?
Yeah. I'm reading like 7 different things.
If you're going to read it, because the manga is about to continue because the guy just came back from surgery.
Oh, okay.
So do you mind if I ruin the anime?
Is it different from the manga?
Yes.
Like it's completely alternate?
The series ended in the anime, but the manga's still writing.
Oh, okay. No, don't ruin it.
Okay. But anyways.
I'm sorry, all that build up and I'm like,
but like,
no.
it's supposed to be like a huge adventurous like storyline, but then they end it on a weird political note where there's no fighting at the end because they're like, well, let's just wrap everything up in a nice little bow. And then there's things where like they're like, let's throw this out where this is impossible to say no to.
Right.
I can't really describe this without ruining it.
Okay.
I see. I can kind of.
I guess I get it.
Yeah,
it
but
was,
like
We're just saying this.
just,
Yeah,
just
can we go back to
bullshit
Batman,
escape routes
Superman?
to like wrap everything up really quick. I hate you, Will. But like instead of like finishing a storyline because there's so many unfinished storylines, everything just kind of wrapped up. Some people were just like, you know what, I'm just gonna go over here, and then never finished up that storyline. And it's like,
so they cut it off at the end.
Yeah, they cut off a lot of different things, and everybody just kind of fucked off in different directions. And then when it ended, they were like,
"Is he inspiring you to watch this show?"
No, the show is great.
I'm trying to remember the significance of what this means in Batman Superman because I remember you started something with it, and
we started with anime.
I lost.
We started on anime. That was all of us. Don't look at me for this.
You did start it. I
Maybe
just
the problem
chimed
with
in.
an anime podcast, it'll be 4 hours long.
Okay, so out of 10, Batman.
Wait.
We've talked a lot of good. Let's talk the bad. Give me your absolute things you just could not like. I feel like Ryan, you don't have too many.
Kramer,
you probably got them.
It needs room to breathe. I mean, it needs to be a little
I agree.
structurally sound in the first half of the movie. Because it was tighter at the end when it was starting to converge and stuff.
Yeah,
I think the compression bothers me a lot more than it bothers you. Like
Because I can get it.
Yeah, but for me, it's more like I don't catch a lot of these things because I don't know them from the comics. So I need more time to process. But when it's so compressed, I'm processing it all at once, and I'm like, but I thought this? And by the time I'm trying to figure out what's going on, they've moved on to something else. Like when they first had that dream with the dark side people coming in, in my head, I was like, Mosquito Men? I didn't think, dark side soldiers. I was like, are those mosquito aliens? What are those? And then by the next thing had already happened, and Flash was back, and I was like, wait, Flash? where does Mosquito Man and Flash? And then it was like he wakes up, and I'm like, no, wait, go back to that. Go back to that. So like, I guess somebody who's like where I don't have the extensive knowledge.
I mean,
about
it's a movie that just it got better in my head when I was thinking about it.
Yeah.
It made my second watch even better.
Yeah.
You know, I flowed with the movie much better and easier.
It's
That was a
different
weird sentence.
because when you're watching it, you're trying to enjoy it, and you're also trying to figure out what's going to happen.
10 things going on in my head.
yeah.
I was freaking out, thinking about it, enjoying it.
Yeah. Something hits slightly wrong. You're like, whoa, I don't know how I feel about that. And then the next thing you're like, okay, I really like this. And then wait, but now I don't understand. And you're trying to connect plots before they happen yet. You're trying to figure out what's gonna happen. Maybe then something came that you weren't expecting already. So now you're trying to think around that.
Yeah.
But when it's done, all those thoughts can come back out, and then.
But that's
hopefully
also
it makes
if
it
you
better.
have like enough background knowledge to where things like
That's true.
Where things that you were like, I don't get it, but then you're like, oh yeah, there's this piece over here. If I throw it back in, okay, now it makes sense. Whereas somebody who's still trying to put it together, but they don't have those missing pieces from like previous knowledge, they're just like, I still don't know what the fuck is going on.
I think I think us three have like a perfect example of that, since you said you don't have a lot of comic knowledge. So you left, you're thinking about it, but you still don't get it. You left, Ryan, and you have enough knowledge to put pieces together. And then what knowledge I have and then what I don't have, I feel like I'm like right in the middle between y'all. I instead research and look up stuff to find out what did I see, what was this, explain this to me, and then I understand it.
Yeah, like I'd have to go do. I don't know where to start researching at some points.
I've been reading stuff about this for like since when we got home. I didn't sleep for another hour.
Yeah,
because I was like, I need to jump on these like message boards and threads that I've been missing, that I've been purposely ignoring. I want to see what people say.
You know, and just on a pure basis movie level, I still think it's a lot of fun.
No, it's a great movie.
Entertainment value.
It's a really good movie.
Entertainment value is really high. So, just in that alone, you know.
No,
it ain't like a 40 out of 100
type
God, no.
of movie.
No,
you know? There were points where I was like cheering, like, especially when Batman. And I know people looked at me when I did this. When he does that move where he grabs somebody and he's like,
he does the
arm bar, not an arm bar, but like he grabs them with his arm and does like this weird wrestling move and he flips him over and he slams him on the floor. And then
face first.
Yeah, and then he grabs another guy and just grabs his head and rams it into the ground.
Yes.
And I was just sitting there going, yes. And then when he did the batarang and it moves a crate and it flies the crate at somebody else, I was like, yes.
Dude, like, that grappling gun again, so good.
So good.
Oh, he even stuck a motherfucker with the grappling gun in the shoulder, remember?
Yeah.
Oh. And then like
also his suit was bulletproof to an extent.
And fireproof.
When did he get on fire?
When he saved Martha?
Yeah. I mean,
You're right, because they jumped out of the explosion. Yeah. I don't know why I just assumed.
That's been a staple of his cape and stuff.
Yeah, like that. I didn't question at all because I'm like, no, it's Batman. Of course it's fireproof.
You know what? I didn't even, because I did not question it, I didn't even bother to think, oh, yeah, it's got to be fireproof. I was like, it's just Batman. He saved her because he's Batman.
He's like, at some point, I need my cape to be fireproof.
I liked it. Even though he did get stabbed.
Probably also wrinkle-free.
Oh.
I liked getting that Jonathan Kent cameo.
I did not.
His scene. Really?
Nope.
Okay. Can I say this? Maggie said this to me. I've heard other people talk about it, and I think it's hilarious. Various people constantly point out that there was an abundance of horses in this movie. There was a horse at the beginning of the smoke. When the building, like the courthouse exploded, there was a horse that went, and then there was a horse monologue.
Yeah, you're right.
And I was like, I find that really funny because I didn't catch half the horses, but then talking to people, they're like, there's a horse here. I'm like, oh shit, there was a horse there. There was horses at the funeral.
I liked the idea that his story was a representation of what was going to say. I mean, it was a simple
cool,
thing,
but I felt like it just, I guess because I was already having problems with pacing, I never got over that it's certain parts just kept slowing it down.
Oh, okay.
Like when he talked to his mom, and she was like, "You can do all this stuff, or you don't have to. Whatever." I was like, it was 10 seconds. I was like, just take that out. I didn't even need that. We already know he doesn't have to, but he wants to. That's the struggle he's already having. I don't need another person to tell him it. I felt like his mom was useless in the movie. I didn't think we needed her.
I would have preferred take out the dad scene completely, but then to emphasize how much his mom means to him, have a similar conversation with his mom when he goes back to the farm. Extend the farm scene out to where she's telling him all the stuff that his dad is telling him, like the reassuringness and all that. Have his mom do that so you can accentuate how important his mom is to him. So that when she does get kidnapped, it's more of a punch in the face to the audience as well as to Superman.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I think that's really cool.
I don't know. I had enough just because I remembered when he attacked Zod, when Zod was going.
Oh yeah, when he just charges straight at him and sends him through
that was enough
building.
for me. That memory was lingering, so because he got angry. I mean, he scared the fuck out of me in that scene.
Yeah, he was really mad
when he lit up his eyes and with Lex.
Oh man, I was like, please do it. Just kill him now. Just do it. You know what? We have not talked about Superman this whole review. Like as a character, we've talked about things.
It's Batman's movie.
I felt like they didn't do enough with
Superman.
him.
I mean, he wasn't.
I feel like they didn't do enough with him. I liked all the stuff that they did, and I thought he did a really good job. But
the movie
I would have liked to see a little more
around him.
Yeah, it was more everyone else's story.
He was the center of the universe in this movie. I mean,
did you see the meme I posted on the Instagram? Where it's a bunch of people holding back Superman and he's screaming, "God damn it, Bruce! It's my movie." That's kind of exactly what happened.
That's pretty much, yeah.
I mean, there's a certain amount of establishment you need to do with Batman. Yeah. He was always going to have more screen time.
And it's true, too, because Superman's movie was the one before. If you need to know his character and his ideals, you watch that first one.
We just need to know his internal struggle.
Yeah, that he's at least feeling that same guilt, too.
He's the heart of the movie.
Yeah.
But he has less screen time. Yeah,
he's the one you're supposed to probably connect with the most, like, as a audience member. Emotion wise.
It's an interesting dichotomy with how Superman's case is the same as the movie's case, where there's a split between. I mean, it's a very simple way to look at it, but there is definitely a split with how. Oh.
Are you saying it's similar to how some people are like I like Superman, and then some people are like, nah, Superman's he's not good for the world.
Like I said, it's a simple way to look at it.
Like, yeah, it's a good movie. Nah, it's a shit movie.
Because there's no in between with this. No. There's no in between with it. No, there's no
middle ground.
Find too many examples of people like it's fine. You know, it was fun.
No, that's what I'm saying.
That was me.
I'm saying I liked it. I'm saying it was a good movie.
Yeah,
but
that was me when I walked out. I was like, it's fine.
But that's not the majority. The majority is either like, oh,
that's the internet.
No, like the whole 30% on Rotten Tomatoes. I'm like, whoa, that's a bit much.
Yeah.
Like whenever I talk to people and I have an argument, their response seems to be like, how dare you fucking insult this movie? And I'm like, I'm not saying it's bad.
No, yeah.
But
this movie, I don't know. It was always gonna have some problems because they want to establish their stuff now, and I get that. So it's gonna.
I think it's very hard to.
It's gonna be bulky universe
with Superman movies. They tend to suffer a lot. And I've heard people say that I haven't seen all the Superman movies, so I can't speak to this. Mm-hmm. I actually really liked Man of Steel. A lot of people said they hated it.
I could see why they hated it, but I liked it too.
Yeah, it
was the same story as this one.
Yeah, but there's a lot of people who. What'd you point at?
Oh, I don't know. The screen wasn't moving.
No, it's good. It's good.
Okay.
But I lost my train of thought. The thing for me where I don't really like Superman too much and I've never really have. He's never really stuck out to me, but I think it's because he's kind of unrelatable in a couple of ways. And Batman puts it the best. He's like, you can't be brave. You have to be human to be brave. Where you want to identify with Batman, and some people kind of can, but there's not really a lot of people who are like, you know what? I feel for you. I also feel like Jesus Christ, but then I don't know. Like people say I'm not. It's kind of it's hard to connect to.
Well, it's not. I don't know if it's about.
Well, it's not about him being like Christ,
being all powerful and
but
not having to struggle with that.
Portrayed a lot is always like, I'm super powerful. I have almost no weaknesses besides some very obvious ones. But the way he's been portrayed before was like almost zero character flaws, which is not true, obviously, because as they changed Superman throughout the years, they gave him more and more flaws because they realized, holy crap, we made this guy omnipotent and therefore completely unrelatable. which is like the very first Superman. Like whenever you see people doing like videos of stuff of
No, he was extremely powerful.
yeah, like
back in the day.
they were saying Superman versus like Goku, and they put up all the arguments of why Superman can beat him, and I'm like, well, if you're gonna say this, then you're just like, no, there's no way, no one could beat this guy. It's impossible, and that kind of takes the fun out of it, which is why it makes it really hard for people who are like, that's how these, and yeah, there are like flaws that he has, but if you're not very familiar with Superman, you don't know those flaws. So when you see a movie, and the movie's not going to dive in too much into those flaws because they have to get to a certain point, that they have to get the story across. And a lot of those points you have to delve really deep into. So you end up watching a movie where you're like, I'm watching a guy that can't be beat. I don't see there's no, where's the conflict? Because even though there's conflict, he's kind of just like, no. Like, and it's perfectly portrayed when like the kryptonite wears off and Batman punches him again in the face,
and he's taking it
and Superman
more,
just doesn't even move, and Batman's like, "Fuck."
But that was a great scene, by the way, when he's getting hit and he slowly starts taking the punch.
Like when it comes back, that was really good.
Oh man, his face was so mad.
And Batman's like,
he says that like, I didn't mean to punch.
wait, let me load my gun.
But like it's a little hard for people to relate to a movie like that, or it's hard to create a story because the story is about the character hitting a wall and then not being able to overcome it and then having to struggle to find a way to overcome it. Where most of the time Superman just blasts through the wall.
But I thought they did a really good job of
internal,
that.
That's always been his thing.
It's all his, like, I feel like they did in Man of Steel and in this one still. He was the only person I felt like I related to the most.
Yeah.
Superman?
Yeah. Because
Absolutely.
that's the whole point of him, is that he has all these powers and nothing can hurt him, but things still can, like, he can still feel hurt from some stuff.
He is hurt by it with
not
others,
physically, but
through others.
Yeah.
It's something that him and Captain America share, is that their struggle is always trying to know what the right thing to do is.
Yeah.
Or not being able to save everyone, or something like that.
The Senate hearing was to me the perfect example of that. He's so strong, and he could not, even if he would have tried, he couldn't have saved everyone in that building.
He fucking nailed that scene.
And that's the huge, like, relatable point to any superhero.
I quickly got over the fact that they weren't going to dive into this political debate with him.
Yeah.
Because the explosion, and then his perfect reaction.
Well, that would like nobody wants to see Law and Order Batman edition.
Well, that some people do,
Were you waiting for that?
I was very interested in that. I was on one hand, I was disappointed he didn't get to say a word.
I would have liked him to at least defend himself, but I think that just adds
and not
to
even
the whole
maybe
situation.
defend himself, but I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not a scriptwriter, so I can't come up with that idea. But
it would have been nice, but I still think it worked. It added to that whole
from a
thing.
comic book twist movie standpoint, it was.
Weren't they streaming the whole footage?
Mm-hmm.
That means that even watching it, no one got any kind of inclination. So the public view is still left as, we don't know how we feel about this guy.
It's the perfect. It was the perfect plan.
It's done on purpose, and it's done.
He doesn't want to give
well.
him a chance to defend himself.
Exactly.
That makes a lot more sense than like what I originally thought. Where I thought Lex was trying to frame Batman, or not Batman, Superman. Like trying to make it seem like Superman did like everything. It makes a lot more sense to keep Superman from being able to defend himself.
Speaking of Lex, when I was watching this, I think I kind of just figured it out like afterwards, but Lex's plan for Superman to fight Batman, what was that?
For him to kill him.
Yeah, but why? I figured just because he stole the kryptonite. He has no mention of Batman at all.
Okay, we know that was a little loose.
We know that he was the one, quote unquote, voiding those checks that
Lex was.
That Bruce was sending to Wallace.
Yeah, because the last check had the same statement that Lex said to Superman.
Yeah, he says him. Yeah, he basically tells him like that's what he was doing. Does that mean he knows that he has Bruce Wayne?
He kind of has a smirk on his face when. Oh, I don't. That's
because where's he?
Possible. He has a smirk on his face when the kryptonite's gone, right?
Yeah.
So that's definitely part of his idea.
And if he's
to fuel him to.
And if Lex is sending those checks, how long has he been sending those checks and keeping up with that plan? Since it seems like he just found Wally towards the end. And Bruce says this guy should have been getting money from us the whole time.
Yeah, he said,
Yeah.
"Why was I notified about all these?"
Yeah, where are all those checks coming from? Like,
And that intern like fucking ran off. He's, I don't know.
I'll find out for you. Yeah, like I feel like to me it would work fine until he was like, "You got to fight Batman," and I was like, "Why?" And he's like, "Just do it, or I'll kill your mom." It's like, what was in it for him? He has your kryptonite. Wouldn't you want to get it back from him? And if you kill him and don't find out,
Lex wouldn't want to do it himself.
well, but how? Like, what does the? I know he's not going to do it. He's going to send Superman to do it. But is he also telling him you need to bring back my kryptonite? No.
Wait, to who?
To when he's telling Superman you have to kill Batman, he doesn't give him any reason, and you don't know any reason
No, his
why he
plan
wants
was
Batman
for Batman
dead.
to kill Superman.
Because he has the kryptonite.
Yeah, because he figures Batman has the kryptonite. He's like, all right, because that's the whole reason he wanted the kryptonite.
Is so he
it's a
could kill
huge
Superman.
amount of it, and he's like, if Batman, who's already a fucking badass that takes out people on the regular, has the amount of stuff that can like kill a Kryptonian, he's like, nah, Batman's got this.
Okay.
And his backup
So
plan,
his thing is to set up to make sure that they fight.
Yeah.
Because since he doesn't know Batman, he just knows Batman stole this kryptonite. He must have it against Superman. He must know what I know about kryptonite.
Yeah.
yeah,
So I need to, if I can't have the kryptonite to kill Superman, I need to send him the way so that someone kills him.
yes,
Okay, cool. That makes it a little more clear because
This
I was a
also-
little unsure.
This also kind of I hate using the word justifies, but it justifies the idea that Batman was killing in this movie. If we had like a hard iron rule that he doesn't do that, he's totally against it. Never killed before. There'd be no point to him trying to fight Superman because
Why would he try to kill him?
Yeah, he wouldn't
Yeah.
want to. So
well,
right.
but for me, the whole Batman like killing is already justified when they show that one of the Robins.
Yeah.
has been
Yeah.
But
But
I mean-
he's saying like in the
because
if it wasn't established that Batman didn't kill, he wouldn't want to fight Superman to kill him.
Okay,
there'd be no point.
it wouldn't
There
seem
would be
so
no point.
dramatic.
Yes, because even in and I think that's what they had to change because in the Dark Knight, he's not fighting Superman to kill him because he's a threat.
Correct.
He's fighting Superman because
Prove a point.
well, yeah, to prove a point, but it's more defensive.
Yes.
I was gonna say, do you guys want to put an intermission right now? 'Cause we're coming up on 3 hours.
Shit.
We're at like 2
can wrap-
hours and 10 minutes.
We can 2 hours and 10 minutes.
Yeah, because we started at 3:50.
That's not coming up on 3.
That's true. That's 2 hours.
Well, the clock on my computer says 2.5.
Okay, we're eating up time now. So
I'm just kind of going through. I've
yeah,
talked a lot about
he's
this.
skimming through. So I at the end of the day, I really enjoyed it. I look forward to the director's cut being a better overall product, and I'm really excited for the universe to get started. Mm-hmm. I'm excited for the Wonder Woman movie.
Yeah,
For sure.
Wonder Woman movie is gonna be great.
And that Batman solo. They better announce that Batman solo soon.
Oh, go on.
I really want to see the Cyborg movie.
Yeah. That's
And
2019, 18? Somewhere around
Oh, it's so far away.
there's a couple of reasons I'm excited for it. A, because Cyborg doesn't really get a lot of like airtime besides Teen Titans.
there. Yeah. He is a Titan.
Yeah,
Used to be.
but or there's what else was I gonna say? Like his storyline doesn't like get too dived into with a lot of things. Even with like from what I've seen on Teen Titans, they don't go too deep into it.
You know what they've said about these movies, these solo movies coming up, that they're not going to be point A to B origin stories.
Yeah, they're not like with Batman. They
That
started
works.
off at a certain point.
Correct. Almost the same way as Man of Steel. Man of Steel was almost already Superman,
Yeah,
and he was just having flashbacks. I think they're going to take a similar approach.
I can deal with that. I'm kind of getting tired of origin stories in general.
but I wouldn't mind an origin story for Cyborg because he hasn't really had one.
Yeah, Cyborg might need one, sort of.
They have
But
to
they
explain
can-
what's going on.
I mean, he
they
can
have to
already
be the explosion.
Yeah,
and-
they can already. He can already be Cyborg, and they just do flashbacks. You know.
I think
Like
they're
they did
trying
with
to.
Deadpool?
I think probably what they're trying to do, especially with the little cameo scene, is to show you a little bit of like stuff you know. So if they can already throw him in established,
Yeah.
you don't have to think too hard about.
Man,
then
he
the
was
flashbacks make
missing
sense at that
half his
point.
body. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
he was. I don't know how they were keeping him alive.
Science.
It's oh my god science or OMG science.
Yeah, right.
Oh my god! Speaking of which, I love that they had Neil deGrasse Tyson on there going like, "Humanity thought we were this, and now we don't think we're shit."
We basically find out that we're not worth anything.
No, that speech was so good though. That was like my favorite. Like of all the cameos that they had on there, which they had a lot. Like they had CNN cameos and like Fox News.
Nancy
I don't know if they had
and,
Fox or
What's his name with the white hair? Anderson Cooper?
yeah, Anderson Cooper.
that was cool.
That one angry lady on Fox.
Oh.
She's always mad at everything and like goddamn Obama. And, like,
Nancy Grace?
Nancy Grace.
Was that her?
Is that who you're talking
Yeah,
about?
yeah.
Like they had her on there, and I was like, oh my god, even this bitch.
Yeah. But you know what? That works. It's very Dark Knight too. You got both sides of the.
But it's
Of the
funny because
people
like
in
the
the
last
news.
thing I remember was her interviewing 2 Chainz.
2 Chainz. Where'd you get that name from? We see I always carry 2 Chainz. So.
I imagine that, and then it goes into like Superman. I'm like, okay,
All right. Let's talk about Superman.
yeah. Anderson Cooper, Neil deGrasse Tyson.
I like that cameo from him. I thought that was really cool.
I was a little worried that they were gonna overdo it at one point. Like,
Oh my god.
The news?
That was totally like a almost a reference to the Dark Knight Returns and how that was set up.
Yeah. Did you just get that? Oh, I'm sorry, Ryan. I just blew your mind.
No, you didn't blow my mind. You just demoralized me.
wait, what?
You know what, though? I feel a little
So in the-
proud that I
in
got
the-
something you didn't.
In the Dark Knight Returns, there's a lot of political debate about Batman in the book and in the animated movie.
Yeah.
And in the comic book panels, it's always just like screen of the reporters talking.
Yep.
Lots of
Okay.
dialogue.
Yeah.
Lots
And
of
so there was a little
clips.
bit of that in this movie where we
Yeah.
go to the news.
You see each
Yeah.
sides of the argument. People defending him, people against him. All the pundits like talking about it.
I like that they used actual like news anchors and stuff like that.
Wait, does that mean they're somehow connected to our universe?
Well, because remember when we were arguing
know,
about
Roger.
whether or not which would you rather be real, Pokemon or superheroes?
Mm-hmm.
One of the big things we stated was like I originally thought Metropolis was supposed to be their version of New York, but there's actually Metropolis and New York.
Yeah.
Yes, they're
Yeah.
fictional cities.
Yeah, I always thought like
And they are across the street from each other.
Right, just right across the.
Yeah.
the
That
thing.
means
I
I
did
was
not-
saying-
I always wondered how close they were, and that answered it. Just a
Well,
helicopter ride.
That means that Metropolis will always see the bat signal all across the bay.
okay, yeah, that because is not Metropolis?
And that's why they know about him, I guess.
It's across the bay from Metropolis. Gotham is across the bay from Metropolis.
Yeah, yeah. It's a ferry right away.
Am I from Gotham?
No,
Is Gotham New Jersey?
no, Gotham is not New Jersey.
Gotham's like Detroit.
That's
It was
not
fi-
across the bay.
You know what? That was
if
filmed in
if
Detroit.
Detroit was right next to like New York or something.
Yeah, it's like I'm trying.
No
Is it
offense to
like
Detroit.
New York to Brooklyn? Because Brooklyn's like not as nice as New York City. Like the inside. I don't know.
No, I thought it was- I
Manhattan
thought it
and,
was like-
and Brooklyn.
Yeah,
right?
Manhattan.
I thought it was like
New York and New Jersey?
yeah, because like the
Because
Hudson
New
Bay-
Jersey's kind of shitty.
Have you been to Clifton? Not Clifton, Newark.
Why would I want to go to Newark?
Exactly.
That's my point.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
That's what people say in the comments.
Gotham-
Why
that-
would I want to go to Gotham?
Exactly. Nobody goes to
That's
Gotham
true.
because it's so shitty. And Newark is the part in like Harold and Kumar where they accidentally exit the highway. They're like, "Where are we? Oh fuck, we're in Newark."
Yeah.
And then people start taking a bat to everybody on the
Hey,
street.
look, those guys look just like us, and then they get beat up.
Yeah, that's where I'm from. That's why I was like, "Holy shit, is Gotham New Jersey?"
So,
It is a shithole.
Okay, so
Thanks.
his role is...
I agree though. That's why I live in Texas now.
Hold on. So his role is going to be expanded just a bit in the extended cut, I've heard. But that was Jimmy at the beginning.
Oh, I just read
And
that
I
today.
knew it was. I knew
And you know what? They
the photographer with Lois at the
Jimmy
in the-
Olsen.
with the terrorist scene.
they had the little tracker in his camera.
Yeah.
He was in this universe. He was like a spook for the CIA.
Yeah, and they just shot him execution style.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, Zack Snyder. We don't really have room to fit
Too many
Jimmy.
people.
Yeah.
we don't need
There's too
them.
many supporting characters.
Okay, about that desert scene. Did Superman kill that guy?
Yes, he's dead.
Well, he said he didn't.
He's dead, man.
Dude.
He just shot him through a rock.
That's not drywall.
No, I don't. That's not drywall.
That's solid rock.
They definitely made it look like he grabbed him and then used him to go through the wall.
Yes.
Yes.
But he said he didn't kill him, so I believe him.
That motherfucker's dead.
He was like, well, when I left, he wasn't dead. He was on life support, though.
Just like,
he wasn't dead. He wasn't on life support either. Oh, that
Did
was,
anyone else get kind of like? I felt a little uneasy. Not uneasy, but I didn't care about Lois and any danger she was in.
no.
Like when that happened, and she's like, and then he crashed through the door, and she's like,
Okay.
"Do it."
When she do it. I got pissed at her towards the end when she
The spear.
She grabbed the spear, she threw it in the water,
away.
and I was like, why would you do that?
Why? Right?
Like I understand. I'm like, yeah, your boyfriend's weak to it, and yeah.
Why wouldn't she do that?
I get. Okay, she's trying to get it away from anyone to find it. Right? So
Yeah.
I get it. Right? She's like, huh. And then she literally walks outside and is like, "Oh, I need that fucking spear now."
But how does she know that?
Because
she doesn't know that Doomsday is also Kryptonian.
That's true. That is totally true.
Yeah. So how is she like, holy shit, I need the spear to beat this guy? What?
Makes no sense.
That
again.
part makes absolutely no sense.
You're right.
And part of me was like, okay, Batman came back to get the spear, never actually goes back to get the spear.
That she's like, I need to get the spear.
Yeah.
I need to go get it. He tells Wonder Woman, I'm going to go get it. And then he never goes to go get it. But
But
he's in a fight, so.
Superman almost drowns getting the spear, pulls it back up, and he's like, holy shit, I almost died just touching this thing.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of going, hey, Wonder Woman, hey, Batman,
Take
you
this
mind
spear.
taking this and like killing this guy with it? He's like, no, I'm committing suicide. And Lois is like, you don't have to.
I know I
like, she
made you-
literally had that conversation.
She's
of
like, I know I
Clark,
kind of
hold
made
on,
you do
let's
this.
just ask Diana. And he's like, no, I got to kill myself. And she's like, Clark, no, seriously.
Yeah.
There's 2 other people here. He's like, no, I got to do this.
That guy was just literally holding the spear. Use the man in the bat
He's
costume.
like, what about the guy who made the spear? The guy who knows how it works?
He's like, I can get it. Just
He had
stab,
to-
right?
He had to prove a point.
Huh?
He had to prove a point.
And die?
He's not dead.
No, he's not.
Yeah. That's what I was wondering, because I'd heard previously when he fights Doomsday that that's one of the points where Superman does die, but it's just his heart stops for like a few seconds. Like
For
I
a
heard
few
that,
months.
Huh?
For like a few months.
He's just like
Oh,
super
okay.
depowered to the point of like.
He's
death.
in a comatose state.
Yeah.
But like his
I
heart's
thought it
not
was
really.
like that's what it was in space where he's fighting Doomsday and he like
That's the effect he has from a nuke.
Yeah. That was awesome, by the way. To see that
Yeah,
was.
once it was a big example, like comic fan,
Yeah.
movie made for a
That
comic
was
fan.
just. Yeah, there was no need for it. They just threw that in for
He
us.
looked
And I
eerily like
loved
Bizarro.
it. He looked so crazy when he's just laying there and he's turning and his skin is like all hanging
I
off.
heard somebody in the
and-
theater like Zombie Superman.
Zombie Superman. Oh man, that was really cool.
Yeah.
Like I liked how they did that. And as the sun kind of turns, as he's floating, he slowly brings color and fullness back to his face.
Yeah.
Once again, a point that was like, yeah, we don't need it, but I'm glad you put it in.
so he's not dead.
No, he's
But
not.
You
What
didn't
was-
get that from the last shot?
Yeah, the,
But was that
the
I
little
didn't
dirt
understand
started
because
going
the
up.
dirt was levitating, and in my head I was like, Superman can't make things levitate.
Okay, so
It's the thing when he gets ready to,
when
like,
he
fly.
flies. This,
Things move around.
In Man of
Oh,
Steel,
yeah.
the first time he flew, the shot was on his hands, fisted on the ground,
Yeah.
Like Superman pose.
Fisted on the ground.
Shut up! And the dirt started to rise around him. He's
And his hands were dirty.
He's manipulating the gravity around him, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's what that was. That was cool.
Okay.
Was
that
there,
makes a lot more sense now.
I was kind of surprised too that they decided to do that and like kill him. Well, kind of kill him.
yeah, I
but
was
you know
like,
what I mean?
I was like,
that
are
really
they get-
took me aback.
Like that's the only reason Doomsday was created in the comics.
Yeah.
and it's iconic. So I hope they do it. But then they're going to start Justice League without him, which is weird.
Exactly,
But
yeah.
I hope
But-
they do it.
But
You know?
now
Yeah,
they can't
yeah.
really bring Clark back.
That's I have this written down. I was like, they clearly show Clark Kent is dead. What are they doing now? Is he going to be Superman full time?
He was gonna get fired anyway.
Well, yeah, he
He
was going to
never
get
wrote
fired.
that sports piece.
You know, I have a sneaking suspicion Perry knows.
but not all of his hometown that buried him.
Yeah, because they buried Clark because
I think Smallville knew too.
No, not everybody.
well,
is
maybe
like,
you kidding, dude?
after Man of Steel. Yeah, probably.
Are you kidding, dude?
He literally like flew through their Denny's
You
and all
telling
their
me
stuff.
Pete didn't like open his mouth one time,
Yeah, there's
I mean,
some
he did,
godlike
okay,
kid
yeah.
who.
or Lana, or like his mother who was freaking out about it when he saved the bus.
Lana.
He
Was
saved the
was
bus
Lana in Man of Steel?
Yeah,
her, as a kid. He saved a bus full of children as a kid, and everyone questioned it. and then let it
Yeah.
go and all that. And,
I think it was
and then
kinda-
Superman appeared, and it looks like Clark.
I think that was one of those like small town just secrets where everyone kind of knows, but they're just like, well, we're not going to do it because look at all the attention it's going to bring to us too.
Yeah.
So I could see that.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of hashtags. The Kents were right.
Okay. That makes a bit more sense.
So we're talking about how maybe Perry White knows who he is. Did I miss the part where Lex found out who he was?
Superman?
Yeah.
I just imagined through sources.
Yeah, I mean,
I kind of figured that, like, after thinking about it, I was like, well,
about the four others. I mean,
yeah, he's got security cameras everywhere. He had to have figured it out somehow, but because it
But
wasn't,
when did he figure it out?
Because it wasn't explained, I was a little like, did I miss that? Did they just not show
I don't
it?
know. I mean,
is that another plot
I
point
don't know
that
if
was
they need to
missed?
show him figuring it out. I mean, it's not. They didn't show. Excuse me. Clark figuring out Bruce was Batman.
That's true. They didn't do that
he
either.
just
How
called
does
him
Lex know
Bruce.
who
and-
Clark is, though?
What do you mean?
Oh yeah, when he introduces Clark Kent, Bruce Wayne, how does he just know this random reporter?
Yeah, like, I get Lex knows who Bruce is,
Yeah.
but because, everybody fucking knows who Bruce is.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, the whole reason Clark can get away with being Superman and then just wearing glasses is that Clark is so insignificant into the rest of the world that nobody looks at him and goes,
He's not extremely insignificant. He's known as a reporter.
no.
And I guess
No, he's very much known as a
but he's
reporter.
known, but he's not like Lois Lane is known as a reporter because she's on
known
TV.
as the reporter.
she's
Yeah,
the
because
famous
she's-
one.
She's the
but they
Pulitzer
always
Prize winner.
they always work together in the comic books.
But then,
Right.
I think what you're saying is, since the movie, we jump instantly from. Also, what's the time frame between Man of Steel and
Almost 2 years.
this one?
It's
2
18
years.
months.
18 months.
Okay, so is
They
that?
said it in the movie.
I couldn't remember.
I couldn't remember. Fuck you, man.
Fucking asshole, man! I'm legitimately asking because I don't remember, and Kramer has to be fucking asshole.
Now he forgot what he was going to say.
I was
enjoyed it.
I was gonna say. Oh, please take the note, Cortana, that Kramer's an asshole, and send that to me in an email. Thank you. Okay, we're back on.
Did you get that?
Yeah, she got it.
Good.
I don't think so.
No, she didn't get it. But
18 months passed.
okay, 18 months passed. Is that enough time? Also, I'm supporting your idea, so fuck you. Is that enough time for him to be a famous enough reporter?
No, it's not.
It's not,
exactly.
right?
Like at that point.
But you know what? I'm going to go with Ryan on this.
But maybe Lex just...
Why? Just to spite me?
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly,
yeah.
to spite you.
But I mean-
Because you didn't let me finish.
I think it's a point that Lex knows him.
But at that point, he would have to know like all the reporters because
No,
he's
but
not that
maybe
big of a reporter
Maybe
yet.
he knows him already.
Like he already knows.
Because originally they're both from Smallville.
Oh, that's another origin for Lex.
Is it?
Yeah, that's not his main origin.
Is that just like WB origin story?
WE?
Like or the Smallville?
He's not.
I thought that was at least in like one kind of
That was
iteration
in
of him.
Secret Origins Superman book.
Okay, because
Is the
they grew
town
up
where he's from
together.
called Smallville?
Yeah,
Clark?
Yeah.
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 I always thought Herbert.
Oh,
Calling
you didn't
him-
know it was Smallville? What a fucking idiot, man! Goddamn.
No, like whenever
Bet you didn't know it was in Kansas
No,
either. They
whenever
said
I-
it in the movie, Kramer.
whenever I heard, like, I always heard people.
Yeah,
referring
whenever
to
you
him
did hear that, they-
as Smallville. Like when I was younger and I heard Lois Lane always referring to him as Smallville, I thought that was like an insult. Like your town is so small, I'm just gonna call it small random city, whatever.
Well, that's dumb.
I know it is.
All right, ladies, stop fighting.
That's my purse.
No, I think he knew who he was.
But I get what you're saying. It's a little weird. It's one of those
Yeah.
things that you have to assume, and I don't like assuming too much.
Yeah, it's like saying especially because he is from a small town. He goes to New York, and that story, not New York, Metropolis. But I assume it's the same thing as New York. Like everybody goes to Metropolis because they're like, that's where I'm gonna make it. Mm-hmm. And he goes there for 18 months, and
he's
he's
made
known
it.
by like all the people on the top.
Yeah.
Well, for 18 months, he's also Superman.
But he's also
But
just
nobody knows that.
It's ample time for Lex to do whatever he wants to do to find out stuff about Superman.
Like he
18 months for him to investigate
Clark
him?
to Superman. He went from Superman down to Clark.
that has to be how he.
And you know what? Because when he greets him, Clark doesn't even give him a like, oh, it's almost like nice to meet you first time.
Yeah.
it's not even like I guess you got to assume that Lex has done some kind of research because he meets him. It's almost that's their meeting of the first time. Like there's nothing like I've met you before. He shakes his hand and he's like, "Oh, you got a grip." And it's like, well, you would know that already. Why would you need to make that kind of comment?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And also the fact that whenever he's like, is that Bruce Wayne? The reporter, who I assume all the reporters are like work together regularly, he's like, you must be new here.
Yeah. The reporters don't know him, that's why that's a little kind of confusing.
Yeah.
Not even fellow reporters know him.
Like work group.
Yeah, fellow reporters don't know him. Mm-hmm. But somehow Lex Luthor, this genius scientist and, knows who this guy is.
Yeah, like if it had been a couple of years.
All he's writing is, maybe he's an avid sports follower. And Clark always writes the sports pages. Oh, shit, because he plays basketball.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God, I connected it. I just did. Kramer's walking out of the room right now because he can't figure it out. Oh, my God. Give me my props, bro.
I want to argue this so bad, but that has made more sense than anything else in this whole fucking podcast. That is basketball.
Yeah. He's playing basketball, right?
So much
He's
sense.
a sports fan. Clark writes the sports.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
He's like, okay. Oh, Clark Kent, I've seen your photo because it's in the little thumbnail, and you wrote that wonderful piece about basketball.
Oh my God.
I'm a big fan of the prediction for the Final Four.
Off one day.
Okay, you know what? Have y'all seen before the movie came out, there was a Jimmy Kimmel skit between Batman and Superman?
Yeah, with the glasses?
With the glasses. And Jimmy Kimmel's walking by, he's like, hey, you're Superman. He's like, no, please go away. And he's like, this guy's Superman. Look, here, put these glasses on. And then the Batman one.
Yeah, the Batman was great. He's like, say cheese. He's got the black phone in front of his face.
He's like, wait a minute. You're Batman. Hey, guys, Bruce Wayne is Batman.
It's a good skit.
And then Lex Luthor comes and he's like, this is Batman, and that's Superman.
He's like, oh my God, I can't believe I didn't see that.
How did I not see that?
Did you see the thing where the actor for Superman actually went and he proved that wrong? He was walking around like Times Square with the glasses on, and he's like, with the Superman shirt.
The Superman shirt?
Nobody's saying anything to me.
Yeah,
but part of me wanted to be like, maybe just nobody who knows who you are as an actor.
He said someone approached him to ask for help for direction or something like that, and they didn't comment.
Yeah, because there's a huge poster behind him, and he's just standing in front like, everyone's ignoring me. I'm like, that's New York, man. No one gives a shit.
He's not a huge star. So.
But the point is that his poster, his face is right there.
Yeah.
It's huge, and the guy is in front of it, and no one is looking up and then looking at him thinking, oh, that's the same guy?
Fucking New Yorkers, man.
Yeah, that's what I said to him. I was like, you should have gone somewhere else. They don't care.
Yeah.
They're like, get the fuck out of my way, rich boy.
I would have been like,
People were freaking out when Harry Potter was at a Chick-fil-A.
Well, to be fair, the British accent kind of sticks out like a sore thumb.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, that quieted.
Oh, he's British. Isn't Henry Cavill some kind of British?
Yes.
I was going to say some kind of foreign, but I know he's British.
Some sort of foreign.
Some sort of foreign. I don't know.
Like from space.
Ooh, man. So
damn illegal immigrants.
Maybe that's why everyone hates him. It's a Trump rally that they took that footage from.
So I wonder how they're going to do Justice League Part 1 and then Part 2.
It is 2 parts, isn't it?
Yes.
Yep. Is it Justice League, Dawn of the Justice League?
No, it's Part 1.
Oh, it's just Justice League Part 1?
Yeah.
I thought it had a long title.
Justice League, Dawn of Justice League?
Yeah.
Excuse me. Oh my God, it was me.
Any predictions?
I got nothing.
I know I can't. That's
can't.
exciting.
Yeah, because
yeah,
like coming from what you just said this whole time, they literally dug so deep that they could just pull any storyline they want now. They just come up with something.
We know Darkseid's coming. That's about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is he coming for Justice League
like
Part 2?
The end all. That can't be the next one.
I know, which is going to be interesting.
Like so powerful, and I want to see. I'm really hoping that they go through all the characters and bring out everybody, so they can reenact that scene where Green Lantern goes up to Darkseid.
Oh my God!
He gets his bitch slaps the Green Lantern,
and then his parademons come around and start beating the shit out of him.
Yes. If they redo that, I will. Oh yes, I need it.
I want to see Aquaman trident to the face.
Oh man, yeah, I want to see.
That would
I want
be
to see
cool.
Aquaman's movie with Black Manta as his villain.
Ooh.
Oh shit!
It's got to be. I mean, there's.
Yeah.
I mean,
He's
they
got,
could,
like, two bad
they
guys.
Could,
That's his main
they
bad
could,
guy, yeah.
they could do him or his brother Orm, which I feel like Black Manta is more.
It's
compelling.
the more recognizable one because that's the one. Like even
Yeah.
isn't he part of like the? It's not the Injustice League, is it?
No, you're thinking
Some group.
the bad guys, right? And they're under. You're thinking Super Friends, like the underwater.
that swamp area.
Yeah,
they have that
yeah.
lair because Black Manta's in there.
yeah. Oh man, what is it called?
I'm going back from my like 6-year-old memories.
Can't remember.
Oh man, it's
Point is, Black Manta's one of them.
yeah.
That's the one that like that's where people's what little knowledge they have about Aquaman. That's gonna be the iconic bad guy for him.
You know what I really liked seeing
What?
was not only the Trinity, but like seeing them having to fight a foe that was stronger than all three of them.
Oh yeah.
Marvel hasn't given us that yet. It should have happened with Ultron,
yeah.
but he was really underpowered,
Yeah.
right? He was more of a mass quantity Ultron type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But with the fight with Doomsday, it seemed a little weird because they should have they took turns. Like maybe it is that they didn't know how to fight with each other.
I noticed that
Yeah,
Batman
okay.
couldn't quite do much.
Well, yeah.
But he took his time and waited for his moment to shoot his one last kryptonite shot.
Yeah.
And then Wonder Woman and Superman would kind of go back and forth, and one of them would get
One
knocked
gets hit,
away,
the other one
and
would
then,
go.
and then would not get knocked, come back, knocked.
yeah.
Yeah. That was so in a way that's
He could
kinda
have
like,
used. I'm glad he went through metamorphosis.
Yeah, me too.
Metamorphosis. He could have used a little more bonage.
Yes.
Even still.
Although even when he had started having that bone spear hand,
When he got
that
the
was
boner?
fucking awesome.
Yeah, I like
Yes.
that. I'm so glad they didn't just punch each other to death,
Yeah,
because that's
that
a
was gonna
one up
happen
on the
too.
comic. The stabbing, that was he grabbed the spear, pulled it in so he could
He
jab
could
more.
stab him. Yep,
And yeah, I love the scene. It was-
that was
Does
really
Superman
cool.
regenerate? Is that one of his powers?
I mean, his cells would generate faster than normal.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Sort of, yeah.
Don't look at me like that.
As long
Just giving you
sunlight
shit now.
helps.
According to comics, he has like thousands of powers. Okay, it's hard to keep track. Can he
So-
still do the thing where he like shapeshifts his face?
No,
I don't know if they've done that in a long time.
they took that away a long time ago.
What powers does
I
he
think
have
he
now?
can like move his face quickly. Kind of Flash does
Like
that.
the Flash, yeah.
you know,
That's weird. Like, it's
just a blur.
Like, no, I get it, but that means like I can't imagine him like trying to have a conversation with somebody while trying to blur his face, and he's like just seizuring his face, and at some point someone's gonna go, "Dude, are you okay?"
I think Superman's having a seizure. Hey, do you think, like, when, because Batman's going to go recruit all these people, do you think Superman's going to be like, have to recruit the Flash? And Flash is going to be like, I'll join if you race me. And they have like a cool badass race like in the animated show.
Oh, where they're running across like the ocean.
Like the world.
Yeah, but like there's
Yeah.
that scene where like the Flash is like Superman's flying and Flash is running across the
or
water.
maybe it's
Yeah.
less indirect, and he like is messing with Superman or something like that.
Yeah.
He's trying to catch him.
I'd like to see that.
That
I
would
think
be
that'd be
pretty
kind of
cool.
cool.
Was that the episode where like
Is that too fun for them? Because
They said Justice League will be a little lighter. Than
Yeah.
this, right.
Because
I mean,
Flash is very,
yeah,
he's cool
He's a
like
fun
that.
character,
Yeah.
and
I could see him trying to like lighten the mood. Like, come on, let's do
even
it. Race
Cyborg
me.
will probably be even. A
Be like,
little,
I'll join if you catch me.
well, Cyborg is still supposed to be young in this, right?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
in the beginning he's real broody because of the shit he's gone through, but he eventually accustoms to it. So
There's no we didn't really see a Robin, but we're implied that Robins do already exist in this one.
if
Like if there's
yeah,
if they
or-
are, because they're sticking very true to everything.
my opinion is, when we do get a Batman movie and if the Bat family's not in it, I'm going to view that aspect as a failure because it's
If we're going by the,
Nightwing.
that
I
route,
want Nightwing.
I want
the Nightwing's got to be somewhere. He's
I want a
Bloodhaven.
maybe an Oracle.
Yeah,
you
because
know,
Bloodhaven's
Oracle.
his city, right?
Yeah, I could do with Oracle instead of
We know Jim
So
Gordon's going to
Batgirl.
be in there, and Justice League actually.
yeah, because
as
what's his name?
fucking
was cut.
J.K. Simmons.
J. Jonah Jameson.
Not as J.K. Simmons. J.K. Simmons as Jim Gordon.
J. Jonah said, "Give me
I
pictures
want
of
more
Batman."
photos of Batman. God damn it, one. Beat me to the punch.
He's a
Crap.
menace.
Crap, mega crap.
Give me
was-
$10.
He was great.
Fine, 30. Write him a check. Get him out of here.
Pitch perfect.
Yeah.
How the hell does Spider-Man pay bills?
So I'd love to see like definitely some Bat Family. They'd have to.
Yeah.
They have to. And
I want to see Robin getting along with Cyborg.
Which is why I think that's why they
That's
should.
just me like wanting Teen Titans. I really want Teen Titans.
and he's got to like look up to Superman as well. Because
Oh,
he's
yeah.
always, he's.
Which is why if they do the Red Hood, Nightwing's in it.
Yes.
So you get to see Nightwing, and then you get to see Jason Todd. So that'd be really cool.
I mean,
and then Suicide would have been out by now, bringing back the Joker, I guess.
yeah, Joker is going to be validated a lot on how he interacts with Batman.
Yeah.
If that dichotomy is great, then I'll be happy.
I'm really
So
excited to see
it's
that.
good that they put Batman in Suicide Squad.
I'm so excited for Suicide Squad.
I really want to see that now. Now that I've been so impressed with this Batman, I'm like, oh man, what? I know it's a small cameo, but I want to see it.
Yeah.
Just that little bit of him.
And then it's not only going to be Joker; it's going to be Joker and Harley Quinn.
Yep. It's gonna be super cool.
Captain Boomerang.
I mean, I can't wait to see him.
He looked so funny in the
Yeah.
like the way he's going around. He like
Yeah.
opens up the can. I was like, oh my god! At first I was like, I don't
Coming
know
out
who
of
this
his
guy
fucking
is.
body bag
Yeah, right.
punching, man, it's awesome.
I read a thing yesterday that says,
I can't believe we didn't see that trailer.
Which one?
oh, the Suicide
Suicide Squad.
Squad. Huh.
We
What
didn't
trailers
talk
did we
about
see?
that one, huh?
We talked about it last time.
Well, we talked about it, but we didn't see it at the movie
Oh.
2 nights ago. You know,
Which one's coming out first? Not Batman.
Civil War's
Suicide Squad,
next.
but Suicide Squad
Is-
or X-Men. Which one of those is coming out first?
X-Men comes
X-Men.
out end of May, right after Civil
Maybe
War.
that's why.
Suicide Squad's not till later.
But it
We'll probably
should've-
get another trailer
But for a
for it.
Marvel movie, not Marvel, for a DC movie, they should have had. It was all Marvel trailers.
It was just Civil War, TMNT,
Yeah.
Civil War.
They didn't show the X-Men one.
That weird
No, they
arc.
didn't show the X-Men one.
Oh, okay.
They did it in the IMAX. I saw it in IMAX, and the 3D didn't bother me. I always get used to the 3D, whatever.
So you saw it yesterday
I saw it yesterday.
or Friday? Wait, what's today?
Saturday.
Oh, I keep thinking today's our
I
normal
know.
day of recording, Sunday.
I saw it at 10 in the morning yesterday. I woke up for it. I
Damn.
went by myself. The IMAX was amazing because there's 3 key scenes that
Oh,
have
you know
that
what?
format.
Speaking of the IMAX, apparently in the nightmare scene, Batman's gun has a Joker card on it. That's easier to see in the IMAX than in the regular, and I was immediately like, "Oh shit!"
IMAX enhanced it. I'm
Did you see it?
really.
I
yeah.
didn't catch it at all the
I
first
didn't see the
time.
card, but I'm up for grabs whether I like the AVX or the IMAX more. I'm not sure.
I didn't like the AVX too much. It felt a little grainy.
Really?
Yeah.
As picky as I get with like editing stuff and audio stuff, theaters never really bother me. Like the difference between them, the only ones I really hate is whenever I have to see something in 3D. Mm-hmm. But I guess mostly that's just because like I don't have contacts. If I were to put 3D glasses on, it looks weird to me.
Yeah,
or I'd have to put them on top of my glasses. Mm-hmm. Or even just 3D in general. I never really liked it.
Yeah.
But other than that, like graininess, never noticed it. How wide the screen is doesn't really bother me. Even being like really up close, it's like whoa.
You notice the IMAX shots though, because it'll go from a normal standard
No, I don't even notice
window
that.
pane like that. You have to. Well, if you took a step
I'm
back,
telling you, I didn't notice it.
There's a huge difference between.
That's the thing. You'd think I would notice it because like of all the times I'm sitting there like editing like all of our videos, and I'm like, this doesn't look right.
Yeah.
But like when I see it have something in theaters, like that's when I go back to my childhood of just like sitting there going, whoa.
Which is weird. Like, I guess this is the first time I've ever noticed a grainy like screen. I felt like it was just too big. Normally, I don't have a problem with that.
I mean, I've gone to that theater 3 times now. That was the 3rd time, and I've sat lower on the previous 2, and I thought this would be finally behind them. I still think we could have been a couple of rows back.
Yeah, because with screens that big, you try to watch everything, but you have to move your head, and I'm always afraid of missing stuff. And then, for some reason, I don't know if you noticed on our screen, we had a really weird spot where I could see the stripes. So, anyway, that was just a bothersome. But
Yeah, it did have. Oh, in the center.
yeah.
I know what you're talking about now.
Yeah, and I kept
noticed
sticking
it.
out, and I was just like,
Yeah,
"Ah."
Maggie said something about the 3 lines, and I was like, I didn't see shit.
Yeah.
Well, I know we know you didn't.
Well, because we're on the row, like I feel like I was right in front of it, whereas
yeah.
y'all were a little more to the side to where
We were
it looked
sitting
a
right
little
next to
different. You were 2 people away, which is why she
Maybe.
noticed
Semantics,
it, and you
Kramer.
Yeah,
didn't.
maybe that's why she noticed it and I did it.
Yeah.
I wanted to say this to Ryan just because I thought it was really funny. Because when we sat down, it was like you guys, then it was me, then it was Maggie, then it was Juan, and then it was Daisy. Maggie has always had this thing with my friends because I don't know if you noticed, we're a little handsy.
Okay.
And she already had to tell Alfredo because Alfredo will like try to grab my butt. And she's like, no. And then Juan, when they sat down, Juan looked at her and he looked at me and he looked at her and he's like, Kramer, switch seats with Maggie. And she was like, no, you're not sitting next to him. You're not stealing him away from me. She's like, I already had to lay down the law with Alfredo.
I needed someone to like, when something happened, I could turn and be like, oh, look at this. Kramer, did you get that?
That was my brother and Brian and I the whole time. We were just like,
Brian did that to me. Like when Wonder Woman first came on stage, like when it first showed Wonder Woman, I wasn't thinking about it. I was like, who is this? But then like he started elbowing me in the ribs, and I was like, what the fuck are you doing? I was like, what do you want? Is this supposed to be somebody?
Did they, since you didn't know that was to be Wonder Woman, did that make a like better reveal later on?
Yes.
Because
like no, I got to piece it together in my head because like I completely forgot the actress who was playing it. Or I guess when I'd seen her before, I'd never seen her like that. I'd seen her like because she has brownish hair in Fast and Furious. So like this is the first time like I saw her in a movie with black hair, so I didn't recognize her at first.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And so I was like, and then I put it together. I was like, oh shit! And especially because like with the museum part with the sword,
yes,
like
right.
I was like, oh, that's cool. She knows who this sword is and like why this person has it. And then later on, I was like, of course she fucking knows. She probably handled it at one point,
right? And like I bring that up only because Daisy didn't know either. She went into the movie completely blind. So a lot of it she really loved because she didn't have any idea of what was going to go on. And she said Wonder Woman was one of the ones that when they finally revealed who she was, because even when they show the thing and they have the two W's, she was like, I don't know these things, so I didn't catch it. But as soon as she appeared in her suit, she was like, holy shit, that's amazing. So
did y'all notice Chris Pine in their picture?
yes, I did, as Steve Trevor.
Yeah, I was like, that's a Star Trek motherfucker.
Yep.
Captain Kirk.
Yeah.
He's going to be in Wonder
I didn't
Woman.
recognize him.
He's going to be in Wonder Woman.
He's got a very like weird haircut. Popular now, maybe not in 1912.
Wait,
18. Was it 19?
19. Popular
Is that
now,
when the Wonder
not in
Woman movie takes
1912?
place?
I mean, popular then, not now.
Is the Wonder Woman movie going to be?
Because he looks like he has a hairstyle that would fit in now,
Oh, yeah, I guess
but
you're
not
right.
back then.
Is the Wonder Woman movie going to take place back then?
Yes.
Yeah, World War One.
World War
One?
Yeah.
Because it was 1918.
They can't do two because Captain America did World War Two.
Yeah, World War
Plus,
One was.
I mean, she was around back then.
Yeah, she was
yeah,
around.
World War
though.
One was early 1900s.
So it's going to be pretty.
Yeah.
It's going to be a pretty brutal movie, probably.
Yeah.
I just think it's funny because there's never been a World War One movie. They're mostly all World War Two.
I think that's one of the like points of it.
Yeah.
Especially Captain America. They've already done World War Two.
Which is
Let's
gonna be
do
really
World
cool
War
because
One.
we're gonna get a lot less like gunplay because like guns were. I guess there's
had
still gonna be gunplay.
guns.
Yeah,
But
There's
not
gonna be
like,
there's gonna be a lot less like
it's gonna be more like pew pew.
more like actual people fighting,
Yeah,
like armies fighting against
people
each
running out
other.
of bullets
trenches
and then like going into bayonets and shit.
trenches and stuff. Like
I guess bayonets is a little too much
a little-
earlier than that.
people used to put knives, I think, at the
Hard
end
to
of their
say.
guns.
My history's rough.
Yeah. I think it's because we've only seen World War II movies. We're not
Yeah, I
too
know.
familiar.
We've been warped by all that.
All I have like from World War One is like those really, 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 really old Call of Duty games. No, that was still World War II.
No, we've always been World War II. Yeah.
We don't know shit about World War One.
Yeah.
It wasn't even Germany back then. It was something else.
I was gonna make a joke to something along those lines, like, are these still the Nazis? They've been trying at it again, huh?
It's technically what it was. It was Germany got beat down really bad. And the reason Hitler came to power is because he was like, we're going to make Germany great again.
Oh God, that sounds familiar.
I'm not trying to imply anything. That's what happened.
Yeah,
I'm saying
he was just
history.
stating facts. That's all.
I'll imply it. I don't care.
So cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, that was.
I would love
was
to
a
know
long
what
talk.
Tom thinks.
It's okay. I can be Tom right now. Just, meh.
Like,
That's cool.
That's
Totally.
cool. That's pretty good. Yeah.
I like Batman.
Yeah.
I like Batman.
I like turtles.
I like turtles.
I'm not comparing you, Tom.
I like Batman.
You know what? I really regret not asking him because he left so soon after the movie. Like,
That's true.
What did you think? Because he wasn't us. We get really excited and we're like, "Oh man, this I like this and that." And he was just like, "Hey, yeah, well, I gotta go." So,
kinda
like,
really-
okay,
It's midnight.
like, wait, I need to talk.
I kind of like because we left and then we just sat there talking in front
Yeah,
of.
because we
I
talked
noticed
more. Yeah, we got outside and we're like, "Well, let's just keep talking."
Yeah.
But
Good.
we'll just ask him another time.
I liked it.
Yeah.
I want to give
Overall,
it
same here.
I wanted for me it was like a 7 to 8 out of 10, and the reason it gets notched down was the compressed editing. Like a lot of that just causes a lot of questions that I don't know because I don't know the backstory, and because I'm not at a fresh, clean slate. I can't just be like,
Wonder.
Wonder.
like that, this is not my introduction to the characters, and I'm getting characters that I'm not too familiar with.
Yeah.
To the point where and I don't have there's not enough time for me to process what I'm seeing. To the point where it feels way too overly compressed. Where I feel it should have been 2 movies. I would have been much more comfortable with being 2 movies. Or maybe one day we'll get a 4-hour-long movie. Much like
Fingers
this 4-hour-long podcast that we just did.
It's 3 hours.
It's a little over 3.
I'm going to be a dick and give it an 8.9.
Ooh, I was going to give it a 9.
Actually,
I really liked it. And y'all helped me solve a lot of problems I had with it, too.
Before, it was like a 7 for me.
When I walked out, it was a 7. It was like, that was pretty good, but it wasn't amazing.
Now it's like like an 8 for me.
From a fanboy, I went really crazy in a way that I haven't in a long time for a movie. That was a 10,
Yeah.
But it's a good 9 movie, I think.
Definitely a good 9.
It's a lot more solid than people are letting on.
I think what worried me, too, is that going into it, I had lost some of the hype for it. I was already thinking of other movies.
If there was no, the trailer ruined a lot for me.
Yeah.
The trailer should have just literally been them talking shit.
I'm really looking forward to whether or not these studios can mimic what Lucasfilm did with Star Wars.
I'm hoping they learn from this reaction
making
trailer.
3 good movies and then shitting on the rest of them?
That was just George. We're talking about Force Awakens.
We're talking about trailers. The trailers for Force Awakens were pretty pitch perfect.
No, they were great.
Yeah.
They didn't reveal too much. They just hyped up.
Yeah. And I guess we'll see if Marvel's doing that or not. They're not quite there. Not quite.
They're almost pushing it with Civil War. I did not need to know Spider-Man was in there.
But that was I think I agree with what Ryan was saying. That was on purpose to
Yeah, that was purely
people who are watching
move.
Batman Superman. Don't forget about us. Next month we're gonna have something badass.
Yeah, but I for me personally, because I was gonna see him anyway.
Yeah,
and I think for most comic book
most
fans,
people will see it.
People
anyway.
be like,
most comic book fans they announce it and they're like, I'm there.
Yeah,
we're
just
Civil War.
We're making this movie.
They're
Here.
I put this on my calendar when you announced it 2 years ago.
Yeah, they're like, I don't even need to see a trailer. I'll watch it. That's how I feel about Doctor Strange. I'm watching it.
Yeah, if they didn't even put out a trailer with Spider-Man, I would have loved it because then the Spider-Man.
It was still a damn good trailer.
It was, yeah, still good.
And then
I could do this all day.
But it brings up that whole question too. People hated the Doomsday reveal, but they loved the Spider-Man reveal. Where's the difference?
Because it was Spider-Man.
And I think that's probably true. And not to mention,
he's a
Spider-Man,
more powerful icon.
And especially now that the movie's out, Spider-Man wasn't the ending to the movie.
He
wasn't your final villain. Because it's not like they showed.
He was the vision of the movie.
It's not the climax of the
But
movie.
they didn't vision him like I thought they would.
Yeah, I thought that we're going to get just a little clip because Vision was just his eyes opening in the trailer.
I saw some reactions were if they had just showed the webbings, that'd have been fine. Maybe, but
no, I would have been happy with the webbing pull up the Cap's shield and then it cuts to black. I actually would have been fine with that. I can't complain.
I guess, I could see that. Still.
That would have been a much more okay, we know Spider-Man's in there, but they still would have had the factor.
Yeah.
The giddiness. Yeah. Because once you do the giddiness and then you do the reveal, you're like, ah!
Yeah.
And then you're like, eh.
And it just Doomsday, I don't know, it just rubbed people the wrong way.
Well, because Doomsday was the climax of the movie.
Yeah, and everyone called it as the climax.
He definitely looked like a troll only in that shot.
Mm-hmm. No, in the beginning, when they showed his face and he's just like, I was like, that looks so shit. But he got better looking as it went, so I let it go.
It's the thing is, the climax of the movie, they don't advertise porn with the money shot.
Yeah.
Wait, what? What?
It's an interesting example.
All right.
It's remember when we watched that edited trailer?
I was going to say, I thought you were remember when we watched that porn?
No. That one with
you flew into that really quick.
No, the fan-made edit trailer of the last Batman Superman, they cut out Doomsday and they just left, the screen went blank and all you hear is the roar.
Oh, yeah.
That when I watched that, I got little chills. I was like, that's cool.
See, exactly. The same thing would have been with the web with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
See, the studio thinks that they're doing the right things to hype people up.
But but no. You got to leave a little bit of something. Anywho,
They've got a lot of pressure on them, man.
yeah.
I hope they
They didn't just get
pull
out
through.
movies and just.
I'm
do
so worried that if this keeps happening, that the plans aren't going to go through.
it. And they're going to just stop.
Yeah, I don't want this to keep happening. So it better make its money.
Yeah.
You know,
Hopefully. Yeah.
Is it raining outside?
something.
I think it's the air. The air just
Okay.
kicked on. It's getting a little warm now.
So more next time?
Yeah, so that's it. That's all I got for it. I feel like we talked the shit out of it.
Yeah, we did.
I don't think I need to talk about it for the next
we argued,
couple months.
We agreed. We philosophized.
We
Is that a word?
disagreed.
I believe the Blu-ray release is July 12th.
I want to see the director's cut. 'cause
Yeah.
I think-
July already? Wait.
July.
For Batman Superman?
Yeah.
What the fuck? It just came out.
Well, I mean, that's March to April, May, June, 4 months. Star Wars is coming out this month.
Has that already been 4
I mean,
months?
April, which is 4 months. Came out
Oh,
in
wait,
December.
man. Wow, that feels so crazy.
Yeah, they take 4 months now to come out.
Yeah. That's good, though.
There's 2 special editions with Batman
Because they got
and
so much
Superman
coming
statues.
out. They need to be able to, like, in between, like, another movie coming out, they need to drop a DVD.
Yeah.
Because that keeps the momentum.
Yeah. Oh, it just feels so soon, but yeah, I guess 4 months. It's
good.
Yeah.
It's good. Star Wars is online.
Oh, I'm ready to watch it again.
Anywho, I'm Kramer.
I'm Juan.
I'm Ryan.
Why'd you have to pause there?
I don't know. Like,
Just
he was
ruined
like,
the flow of it.
Indigestion.
Oh,
Sorry, guys.
I would have accepted the burp.
I'm
Ryan.
And we will see you next time.
Yeah, wait. We have a Twitter now.
We do have a Twitter. Fuck, plugs.
Okay, quick. Don't sign off yet. Keep listening. Go to audibletrial.com/shootingblanks.
Wait, it's not trials. It's trial.
Trial.
Okay.
audibletrial.com/shootingblanks. You can get a free 30-day trial membership and a free ebook that you can keep even after you decide you don't want it anymore. If you don't want it anymore.
Because you probably
Exactly.
Yeah.
And whether or not you want to keep it, fuck them. We don't care. Just sign up.
Just sign up. Please help the
Please.
show out.
I'm so hungry.
I'm starving. Help the show. Sign up. Cancel. Whatever. But you keep the book. There's some good Star Wars books.
Little do you know, we're under the freeway right now.
That's what all of the acoustics is.
Yeah.
Go to twitter.com. Or you know what Twitter is.
Oh, no.
We're at Commentators Pod.
Commentators
Like
Pod.
our Twitter handle is at Commentators Pod because some fuck has commentators or the commentators. I will find you, you son of a bitch. We're on Instagram as
Shooting Blanks Entertainment.
yes, Shooting Blanks Entertainment. We're also on Facebook,
Snapchat.
we are on Snapchat.
We're on Snapchat. You can
Snapchat
see-
at Shooting-Blanks.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Because some fuck has.
God damn it, people are ruining us.
Just get those 2 people in a room together and talk about anime in front of them for hours.
I thought you were going to say Gasson.
Oh my god!
Too much World War II.
All right.
And Facebook.
Yes.
As Shooting Blanks Entertainment also.
we mentioned Facebook.
You can like us. I don't know.
One more sign off. I'm Kramer.
Yeah. I'm Juan.
I'm Ryan.
Without indigestion this time.
Wow.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.